I ain't playing the judge no more. I'm playing the lordship. Turn up. Turn up.
You go to hell.
Turn up. You mean to tell me? Turn up. You mean to tell? Turn up. You mean to tell me? Turn up. You mean to tell? Turn up. You mean to tell me? Turn up. You mean to tell? Turn up. You mean to tell me? Turn up. You mean to tell? Turn up.
Rich,
Turn up.
you go to hell.
Turn up.
Rich,
Turn up.
you go to hell.
Turn up. You mean to tell me? Turn up. You mean to tell? Turn up. You mean to tell me? Turn up. Sit down.
Ellen DeGeneres, you a miserable ass F. You rich, you go to hell. Let's get the fuck out of here. I'm gone.
Guilty.
Mrs. M. Hall, you a corrupt ass F. She's a witch. She ain't black. Let's get the fuck out of here. I'm gone.
Guilty.
Joe Biden, you a racist ass F. You a racist. You go to hell. Let's get the fuck out of here. I'm gone.
Guilty.
Lizzo the lizard, you a miserable ass harlot. She's a witch. She's a hippo. Let's get the fuck out of here. I'm gone.
Sit down. Guilty. Not guilty. God damn it. Turn up. Turn up. Turn up. Not guilty. Guilty. God damn it. Turn up. Turn up. Turn up. Turn up. You mean to tell me? Turn up. You mean to tell? Turn up. You mean to tell me? Turn up. You mean to tell? Turn up. You mean to tell me? Turn up. You mean to tell? Turn up. You mean to tell me? Turn up. You mean to tell? Turn up.
You rich,
Turn up.
you go to hell.
Turn up.
You rich,
Turn up.
you go to hell.
Turn up. You mean to tell me? Turn up. You mean to tell? Turn up. You mean to tell me? Turn up. You mean to tell? Guilty. Turn up. Not guilty. Turn up. Guilty. Turn up.
Let's get the fuck out of here. I'm gone.
Turn up.
I just have one thing to say. Hang on here.
Black, you ain't black. Black, black leadership. Black, you ain't black. Black leadership. Black, you ain't black. Black leadership. Black, you ain't black. Black leadership. You ain't black. I want black. You ain't black. Something for black. You ain't black. I want black. You ain't black. Something for black. You ain't 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 black. I want black. Trump. You ain't black. Racism. You ain't black. Charlemagne. You ain't black. Essential workers. You ain't black.
I'm black.
You ain't black.
Why not?
You ain't black.
Come on, guys. I'm Black Dana.
Come on, man. You ain't black. Blacks. You ain't black. Dr. King. You ain't black. This virus. You ain't black. Come on, man. You ain't black. A disproportionate amount of them ain't black. Ain't black. Now people recognize that you ain't black. And you ain't black. You ain't black. I want black. You ain't black. Something for black. You ain't black. I want black. You ain't black. Something for black. You ain't 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 black. I want black.
I tell you what, if I had to tell them of any one of these people, I'd be
Black.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning. I don't know where the heck I'm at, but the time difference is kicking my behind. So if I'm doing some late lives in you guys' opinion, it'll be early lives where I'm at, okay? And apologize about yesterday. Boy, the devil busy is all I can say. That motherfucker got some soldiers too. Boy. But listen, man, thank God for the people in my life that care about me, and we gonna keep moving. Shout out to all y'all. I gotta show y'all something because this was funny to me. Shout out to Cardi B. She's a pretty good parent in real life, though. You know how we say in real life, though? Man, we be talking all this trash about Cardi B, and then I come across this video right here. I didn't think I done seen it before. But This is good parenting right here. I don't know how you parents get down. Maybe y'all let this shit play, but this is good parenting. Hey, Cardi B started speaking in tongues. Turn this shit off. She was not about to let that baby hear that type of music. I'm trying to told you, but you didn't want to hear me. I like the way she turned that off quick. She recognized that something was wrong. A lot of people don't know how to do that. They say music is just entertainment and all this other shit. A lot of people don't know how to not, I said to not do what they doing. A lot of people don't know how to do that. Yeah, a lot of people don't know how to say, you know what? This is entertainment, but this ain't for children. You know how adults used to do back in the day when they were playing that music that us kids didn't used to hear? Adults back in the day didn't pretend that they wasn't doing something. They was doing something right. They didn't pretend. They knew the music that they was listening to. They talking about hunching. They talking about taking off clothes. They didn't let us kids hear that. I had to think about it. I said, man, adults always had music that wasn't for kids. There's not a time in history that adults didn't have music that was not for kids. But back in the day, a responsible parent would do this. Hey, look, when her daughter came out skipping to that wet, boy, her daughter came out skipping to that wet AP. I don't want to say the word. Her daughter came out skipping to that WAP. As soon as she saw that little girl, she said, oh, no. So shout out to Cardi B for being a great parent and just tricking the rest of y'all. And I appreciate Cardi B just getting her bag and tricking the shit out of the rest of y'all. No, man, Cardi B a genius. We thought this lady was a slow stripper, and it turns out this lady is a genius. She know right from wrong. She know what's for her. She know what's for her kid, and she know what not to play around her kid. So shout out to Cardi B for that. We got to give props where props to. Because a lot of y'all be in the car with y'all kids playing that shit loud. I got something else to show y'all. Because they say, you know, yeah, you like Trump. You like Trump because you're a Trump boy. No. I like Trump policies, but I don't see Trump appreciating shit like this. I want y'all to see this. I don't know about y'all, but this looked like a bunch of grown ass sickos in the room with children jumping on their lap. What that look like to y'all? That looked like some grown freakazoids to me, with children sitting on their lap. I don't know. It looked like grown ass freakazoids with children sitting on their lap. Okay, and if that ain't enough to convince you, I want to know if one of y'all will wear one of these damn outfits outside. This is supposed to be the best outfits in the world. Let's see if one of the YNs will wear some of this shit where it's covering up their eye with a whole creature on your back.
Met Gala is demonic, but it's no surprise because every single year these celebrities show you exactly what they are about and what they represent. Because remember, this is supposed to be fashion for these people. But does this look fashionable to you? Does this look like something that you would wear out in the public? I mean, this is very bizarre. And in this photo, of course, one of the eyes are covered. If you know, you know. And then here is Katy Perry's outfit. I mean, it's some type of weird robot mask. I mean, again, if you know, you know, especially with everything going on currently, maybe this is what they really look like behind the scenes. It's no surprise because these celebrities always.
Man, ain't this the dude Sam Cooke that came out sounding like he was a goddamn Sam Hunt or something like that? Ain't this motherfucker sounded like he was a Christian? Stay with me. Ain't that his first song? Stay with me. Like, what the hell is wrong with this dude? Let me see if this is the right dude. Let me see if this is the right dude that I'm thinking about. Sam Smith, that's his name. I think he got a song called Stay With Me. Yeah, let me see. Because if it is, this motherfucker can sing. He sound like this son bitch when he first came out. It sounded like he was at a Baptist church. Now this motherfucker sound like he ready to get baptized with that D. What the hell is going on? Let me see if this boy. This look like him. This look like this boy right here. This son bitch sound like he from the UK. With that. Yeah, this motherfucker talking about, baby, won't you stay? Now he want a nigga to stay. I don't understand that. How he go from all I need is plain to see. Well, don't you stay with me? How he go from that to looking like he want a nigga to stay with him in dresses and shit? How do you go from that? Yeah, Sam Smith. I'm sorry. I apologize already, Ron. Hey, I know. Hey, don't swing on me now. I already know Sam Cooke is black. I'm sorry, brother. Hey, but how does he go from begging a woman to stay to looking like a woman? This shit is weird. No offense to his body, his choice, but damn, how does he go from singing powerful songs like that to looking like this?
Always show you what they are about. And this year is no different from the rest because it is always truth in plain sight with these people. As always, this video is for entertainment purposes only. What do you think? Wake up.
Yeah, I'm going to say what he said. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I don't want no smoke. Yeah, because it seems like they won't smoke with anybody that asks questions. I don't want no smoke. I just think it's kind of fucking weird. Now, we call Kanye West crazy. Now I have to say that it's been experiences in Kanye West's life and the things that he could see prior to we could see that I now don't think Kanye West is all the way crazy. He described something about his daughter, and this is his daughter. And make sure y'all go check out all of these Instagram pages, please. But he said that he was worried about his daughter and what they would do to his daughter. Now, this is his 12-year-old daughter. I didn't know this was a 12-year-old, first of all. Why is a 12-year-old got blue hair and all this other stuff? But hey, and if you look behind this young lady, you will see a sign that I don't know why this little kid is doing this. I don't know why the parents are doing this, but I just want y'all to see, because I think Kanye West was right about this particular situation.
So many people believe that Northwest, Kanye West's daughter, actually just did an initiation ritual with the Freemasons. This is the symbol on the wall that she's performing in front of. Y'all recognize this? Anybody? It's one of the most prominent symbols in Freemasonry. Now, keep this in mind. You say to yourself, well, she's 12 years old. She's performing and she's at this venue that has this thing on the wall. That's not her fault. She didn't know. And maybe you're right. Maybe she did not know. But the adults that set this up, they definitely knew. What's even worse is people keep thinking this stuff is fake. I keep telling them over and over again, it's not fake. It's real. These ceremonies exist. These initiation rituals are real. But there was one more comment that really got my attention. It says, this is what y'all call Kanye crazy for predicting what's going to happen if she lived with Kim. Kind of hard to disagree with this at this point. Tell me what you think in the comments.
Yeah, and these videos are not to judge anybody. We don't want you to think that, because that's when you get upset. We just asking a little bit of questions. That's it. We ain't got no beef, No smoke. Cause boy, y'all know how to bring the smoke. Now I saw something that damn near made me I'm like, this was confusing to me. I'm like, how did they let this boy sing this song? I just want to bring this to the table because I just want to see if anybody know this kid. If anybody ever heard or seen this kid right here.
I may be a little kid, but I have been around. Can hear the girls all scream soon as our wheels touch down. Junk kids in Tokyo.
The catchy little beat. This boy sound like Justin Bieber.
Fashion shoots in Milan, then a private jet to Madison Square Garden. 36-week-long tours, 10 singles on the charts. So hear my message, girl, cause it comes from the heart. Help me, my parents sold me to a big producer in the record industry. He makes me do things that I don't wanna do. Please call Trust Services, or maybe SVU. You gotta help me, my parents sold me to a big producer in the music industry. They took the cash and left me to these screaming masses. If I known all this, I'd stop those dancing classes. I tried to run away one time in Belarus. They beat me with phone books so that I wouldn't bruise. I just can't take no more rich kids' bar mitzvahs or paid sleepovers with Saudi princes. Blinked SOS in Morse code. Once at the VMAs, they sprayed me with a hose in a pit for 3 days. And when my sales drop off, they'll take me to a resort and let rich businessmen hunt me down for sport.
Hold up, I'm just coming in on the song to check on what y'all talking about. Don't think of me as a record exec, but a father figure and pal. This kid's a real prankster. This is one of his practical jokes. Thank you for your concern, but there's nothing to see here, folks. That's just exhaustion talking. Poor little guy's not good out. I'll take him back to the tour bus and we'll get him straightened out. There is no box. I don't even know what that means. Now we gotta run, but for your trouble, here's some front row seats.
Gotta help me. My parents sold me
Can I get a help
to a
here?
producer
We
in the
got a code
music
on.
industry.
We're
Oh,
sorry.
God, please
Very
help
tired.
me.
Life on the road.
Action. This didn't work.
Now I looked at that. I said, "Oh man, that's a catchy little tune. That's some crazy stuff." But then I googled the name, Trevor Moore, and he's actually unalive. He died in 2021. 2021, he allegedly threw himself or fell off a balcony. And I'm just like, okay. It went from catchy tune, AI, conspiracy theory to someone is actually no longer with us. He just fell off a balcony or threw himself off a balcony. Interesting. Interesting. Don't know this kid, KB, but grooming apparently is a thing. Marcellus Wiley is now accused of it. I wonder what Marcellus Wiley said. I wonder what he said. It's crazy. Marcellus Wiley is accused of that? Holy majoli. Tell you, it's crazy out here, man. You start to say shit, man. Excuse me, man. Man. Shout out to Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving kind of feels the same way I feel about this celebrity shit. It's not even a real thing. It's to sell you something. It's BS. It's just to sell products. They prop certain people up, take and then clip certain people wings so that they can sell you products. That's all this is. Now let's listen to Kyrie because I'm a bust, and now a lot of people don't want to listen to me. Salute to you, Paul.
Idea is eroding. The whole fame idea is eroding. That shit was sold to us, y'all. You got people out here that are human, that are acting every day of their life. They're not even real. They just on NPC shit. Every day they acting. They don't even know. The world is a stage, dog, and it's a lot of terrible actors. It's a lot of terrible actors out here. The world is a stage. There's a lot of terrible fucking actors, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it, dog. I'm just gonna say it. I tried to tell Spice beforehand I said it, but the whole idea of celebrity, bro, if you're not a real person and you can't stand on your morals and principles out here, move out the way. You can't stand on any principles and morals out here as a person that's trying to see this world become better, move out the way for the time being. I'm not paying attention to all the, the beefs going on, or, this whole celebrity idea is eroding. The whole fame idea is eroding. That shit was.
And that's 100% facts. And I hope you guys will stop living your life through celebrities. I get it. Nowadays, you could just start a YouTube channel, do celebrity gossip, and you could be a thousandaire. You could move up to, you could be new money. And you can start actually thinking you're important in life because you're reporting on other people. Most interesting thing in the world, you can get on YouTube, report on other people, and then get a status about yourself that you think you're bigger than everybody. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But this celebrity market makes so much money that that's never going to stop. They're just going to move from celebrity to influencers. Now they have the children. Your kids are influenced by somebody. Now, hopefully you go home and tell your kids, because I tell my kids this saying all the time. My cousin said this saying to me the first time. He said, I was born an original, so I'm not going to die a copy. And I think his father told him that. You was born an original, don't die a copy. A lot of these kids, all they do is copy. All of their dances, they get off Fortnite. They get off TikTok. They get off Instagram. Their friends, their mothers. I used to have to ask people, have you ever had an original thought? When's the last time that you had an original thought? Like if you wanted to go to dinner, you didn't ask a friend where to go. You wanted to go on a trip. You didn't ask nobody before you left where to go. You just went and explored yourself. They got all these things. Google, they got Yelp. You don't really even have to ask nobody. You don't even really have to ask Yelp. Go experience certain things for yourself. Now, I get it. The restaurant stuff, that's a little different. You might want to get some reviews before you go to a restaurant, but it's places that people do not see organically no more. They only go to destinations that other people have been to. How in the fuck can you discover something new or something that you may like organically if you're always sourcing a friend first? You ain't lost. Why do all your dances look like somebody else? Why do all your sayings sound like somebody else? I come up here, I mimic some things that some people say, but I got my own lingo. You can pick it up or not. I got my own lingo. I got my own way of talking. That's how we used to be back in the day. We used to want to be original at something. Now everybody just wanted to be monkey see, monkey do. They want to go along to get along. You are tiptoeing around a deep rabbit hole concerning original thoughts. Man, I'm telling you, salute to you, Natron Black, a new member. Man, I'm telling you, people do not have original thoughts no more. A lot of the women, look at the women now, some, not all. I'm gonna go cheat on my man because man, the stallion man got cheated on her. What the fuck that got to do with you? You don't even know if she's telling the truth. Women lie, men lie. Did you hear Jay-Z? Ain't nobody canceled Jay-Z for telling the truth. He said, women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. We run around here talking about Jay-Z real, but then we run around here talking about believe all women. So they should cancel Jay-Z then. He got one of the hottest songs, say, women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. So I got to challenge Jay-Z. Bullshit. Women don't lie, Jay-Z. Believe all women. You got to go back in the record books and etch that out of the song. Because the only thing that lie is men. Women don't lie. Men lie. Men, you should rechange that song to say men lie, and numbers don't lie. Because the way the world going, you can never say a woman lying or you hate your mama. You hate your goddamn mama. You say a woman lying. Meg Thee Stallion, did you sleep with Tory Lane? No. Turns out, yes. Little old joker bit that big old ass. Boy, what? Let me play the video.
Everybody else is talking about. Shout outs to Dialogue for having my brother D1 on the show, saying what needs to be said. Continue D on the mission. Be real, be righteous, be relevant.
Yeah,
This word legends, man. Once again, shout out to Benzino, but I would say this. We got to ask ourselves, what are people legends at? And what are people legends for? Right. If you're a legend for selling dope to your own community, that ain't a legend. That's lame. No. If you're a legend for bragging on how many people you killed and how cool it is to murder your own kind, that ain't a legend. That's lame. Right. You feel me? So people hide behind this term legend because they feel like, man, if I'm a legend, that means I'm untouchable. That means nobody shouldn't talk about me. But at the end of the day, you're just a boy, you're just a girl, you're just a man, you're just a woman, you're just a human being that God created. So let's strip ourselves of these titles that make it seem like, oh, we untouchable. Because the reality is there's been a plot against our community to make the wrong people into heroes and legends. Yeah. Because what do people do with heroes and legends? We look up to them. Right up. And when we look up to people who's leading us down a path of destruction, glorifying negativity, making money their God because they fall in love with money more than anything else in this world, then all of a sudden, these legends are taking a whole generation, misleading and misguiding them, bro. That's right. So no, sir. Much love to Benzino, but no, Benzino. I'm not calling out legends. I'm looking at people who have the attention of our community and who have been misleading them for too long. Right. So let's strip a lot of people of that legend title. It's a lot of people we can name right now in hip hop that our first thought is, oh, that person is a legend. But when you pause and say, they're a legend for what? For what? They're a legend at doing what? And then they get real grimy. It's like, dang, this person ain't do nothing positive. They sold millions of records, but the only lives they changed for the better was their own family. It was selfish. You know how many people are like, man, I'm feeding my family. Don't tell me nothing about what I'm doing over here. Meanwhile, they poisoning the minds of hundreds of thousands of other kids from other families. And they're so selfish that they'll say, I'm going to make this cool, catchy music. I'm going to have this whole movement that's built around foolishness. But as long as I'm making money and me and my family getting more rich off of this, I don't care what impact it's having on y'all. D1 is talking about.
Yeah, I don't care what happened. I don't care what impact is happening on y'all. That's why these kids are moving like it's Grand Theft Auto. That's why kids don't know better not to shoot up the mall. That's why kids don't know better how to say, you know what, dog, it ain't worth it. I ain't going with you. All of these kids turn into gangsters, but then when they go to jail, they turn into girls. It doesn't make sense. It don't make sense at all. But this is our culture. But we're going to blame white people. And white people, I just want to know, I got a question, because I thought this was child abuse, but maybe not. I just want to ask other people. I want other people's opinion, because my opinion may not be right.
They are 15 months old. We actually use they, them pronouns. We're great until they tell us who they are.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the Pride Parade.
Did you say thank you? Thank you.
We are pulling apart this idea of sex, which is related to genitals, and gender, which is related to how you move in the world. So what you wear, how you share your identity with other people, all of those things are related to gender.
This mother has a mental illness. This is child abuse. Her baby should be taken away from her. This has to be a crime, man. I hope this baby gets saved. She's going to go through a lot of horrible stuff if this continues. How is this even real? Like, what is going on? A 15-month-old doesn't know what pronouns are. They're completely innocent. This isn't some new age, good parenting. This is literally demonic.
But it's about the parent. She wants to belong to a group. So these groups are destroying us. A kid who can barely speak, don't even know the definition of a pronoun. The parent is giving this information. This is crazy. Stopping by to say what up, KB in the chat. Keep KB prayed up and protected at all costs. Some people don't like the truth and the message. Boy, they trying to kick my jaws in my ass for real. I ain't gonna lie to you. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Yeah. Thank you, though. Appreciate you, brother. Definitely keep me prayed up, because, boy, Lord have mercy. They think you are evil for showing that, man, these are kids, man. Look at this kid. Look how uncomfortable this young, I want to say this is a young lady that is turning into a young man, but just whatever this person identify as. Watch this grown adult can't keep her goddamn on hands off this child. This is creepy to watch. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm a video, honey. Ooh, so I don't like that. Why? It just feels weird you saying like a video, honey. Like you're. Yeah, I'm a video, honey. Ooh, so I don't like that. Why? It just feels weird you saying like a video, honey. Like you're. Yeah, I'm a video, honey. Ooh, so I don't like that. Why? It just feels weird you saying
Now, I don't care what you say you are. I just think that's wrong to make a kid feel like that. She even said, I'm uncomfortable. Now, if that makes me wrong for saying that it's wrong to make a kid feel uncomfortable like that, rubbing and touching all of them, what the fuck are you doing? I just don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't get that part of it. Okay? Now everybody mad at Stephen A. Let's see. Stephen A said something, and we're going to get into this on a bigger scale, but I just want to play this clip because everybody's talking about this on Instagram because maybe they don't remember the old Stephen A. Stephen A done adopted some talking point. Maybe he said some things back in the day, but majority of the time, Stephen A is going to vote the same way. I still think Stephen A is going to vote the same way, but he did say something that was truthful this time, but it's going to get him into a pickle with Rollin Martin and the black community because we are no longer black. We are Democrats. There's a line being drawn in the sand that black folks that are not Democrats are against black folks. It does not matter the research. It does not matter that we're grown adults. If you are black, you are supposed to be Democrat. And if you're not Democrat, there's an unhealthy thing going around that celebrities and other people, they are going to scold you like a child. They are going to tell people to stay away from you like a child. And none of you guys don't seem to be offended. Do you know how offensive that is for another grown man to call you out publicly for a vote that's your choice, that you're doing for your family, to call you out and to insinuate that you are less black? Even after 50, 60 years of them voting the same way, and we still begging and crying, they still seem to think that they have some sort of know-it-all type of attitude when they really don't. I don't give a damn if you a woman, a man, or whatever you are. If you allow people to be around you and they don't have to work to be in your presence, they don't have to do things to be. Imagine having a girl, you don't have to do nothing to be around her. Nigga, you ain't gonna have no respect for her. Imagine a man that a woman can get anything from and say anything to and don't have to do nothing back. They ain't gonna have no respect for you. So in what world do we have people representing us that don't have to give us, say nothing to us till voting time, just make us feel bad about being black? You black, nigga, so you better vote over here or your mama ain't black. That's the thought process. Not, hey, we're gonna make these people work for our vote. We're not gonna just say it's two branches of the same or two the same bird with two wings and all this other stupid stuff that we say. No, you got to be competitive. You got to say, look, I'm gonna go vote Republican because it's only two. I'm gonna go vote Republican. I can call myself independent, whatever. I'm gonna go vote Republican until you take me serious. You know how a woman get a man to act right? She shows some attention to another man. Boy, if a Negro wasn't acting right before, boy, he gonna get his shit together. He gonna get his shit together then. So yeah, let's listen to this real quick.
Smith says he wishes that every black American would go out and vote Republican one time.
I wish for one election that every black person would vote Republican. What? How can he say that? I said, it's simple. Since 1964, the black folks, we have been giving our vote to the Democratic Party at an exorbitant rate. Therefore, they know they got our vote, and they don't have to cater to us as much as we need them to. The Republicans know they'll never get our vote, so they don't give a damn about us. And as
that was a key statement. They be like, why won't the Republic? What the Republicans gonna do for you? Why would the Republicans do anything for you? That's like somebody else, old lady talking about, buy me something to eat. I'm gonna say, bitch, you got a man already. Why would I buy you something to eat if he getting all the nookie? I don't mean to sound rude, but are you gonna give me some of that nookie? I mean, it don't got to be right now, but I'm gonna want something. I'm not just gonna feed you and give you this and give you that. You ain't giving me nothing. In what world does that work? In what world does that work? The redistricting going on is an opportunity for the black vote to mean something again. What if some of these GOP members actually fix a black area? I think they would. Salute to you, Taryn. I think they would. We got black people in districts for years, and they don't fix a damn thing. It's the worst district in the world, but they like black people, though. That's the only thing we can say. They like black people. They like black people. That's all you can say. Salute to you, Taryn. Oh, Stephen A. Smith in trouble now? Stephen A. Smith in trouble, but I think he insulated because guess what? Here's what you guys got to understand. There is a lot of white people in the world. So why would Stephen A. Smith be in trouble? He's talking points that's fair, that's balanced. He's saying make them work for his vote. He's not being disrespectful to the Democrats. So I think Stephen A. Smith is positioning himself to be looked at a little bit different. There's going to be some Republican people that love Stephen A. now. And there's going to be some Democrats that don't mind. They're not as far left. There's going to be some. I don't think Stephen A. is going to go down as much as y'all think, especially with his $200 million. If he just keep his money intact, he don't give a damn what y'all think. But at the same time, what did he say that was so offensive? He didn't say anything revolutionary. He said something that's common sense. This is the most common sense thing ever. If you guarantee lockstep 100%, no matter what, be with a person, you might as well call yourself Will Smith. Yeah, I'm going to say that again. If you don't care about yourself and the treatment that people give you, then you might as well call yourself Will Smith. And then your wife and your people around you can have entanglements. They can do whatever. And then it's your fault. You don't have to go find somebody that appreciate you for you. Just stay. Yeah, you might as well call yourself Will Smith if you don't want to be treated a certain way. If you don't want a person to respect you in a certain way, you Will Smith.
as a result, we're the only community in America devoid of representation, which is why we're considered disenfranchised. I'm tired of that. What I want is to put ourselves as a community in a position where both parties have to work to get our vote.
He is absolutely correct. This is literally exactly what my book is about. Black Americans never identified as Democrats until 1964, when Lyndon B. Johnson rolled out the AFDC, or in other words, the welfare program. Ever since then, Black people have been dependent on the Democratic Party, and it resulted in leaving us in the condition that we're in today, struggling and without nothing, a bunch of empty promises that they never have to deliver on. Why? Because they know they have rendered us.
Because we they little B. That's why. We they little B. That's why. They don't got to do nothing for they bottom B. A lot of these Democrat pastors, I've been telling y'all, these pastors, these celebrities, these senators, these congressmen and women, these people care more about Democrats than black people. They don't give a fuck about black people. They don't even take the time to discuss something with you. Try to talk to a black Democrat in public and have a conversation with them, and they're going to haul ass. They're going to treat you like you scum. They might call security on you. They're not going to have no conversation with you. The only people that act like they love you but won't even have a conversation with you. If you love me, break bread with me. If you love me, have a conversation with me. If you love me, you feel my pain. You hear my pain. You don't run from it. But no, this ain't love. This is using people. And they love it. They want to hear about blackity black. They want to hear the excuses, and they love this shit.
Dependent on them for survival. This is never how it was. And this is not how it should be. Stephen A. Smith is right. This is exactly why I wrote my book, How the Democrats Won the Blacks from Physical to Mental Slavery. This book gives the true origins of both political parties and tells the real story of how Black Americans realigned from being Republican to being Democrat, all backed up with facts, historical documentation, and government reports. If you want to learn the history, the true history you were not taught in school.
Well, if you wasn't taught that in school, then Rollin Martin gonna destroy you. Rollin Martin gonna come back with 30 days. You just stupid. You don't know nothing. He don't touch on not one topic. He is not gonna touch on one topic about what Stephen A. said. And that's what the scary part about it. I've been saying this. We don't have conversation. The so-called educated people, they're more disgusting than the uneducated. The educated people don't even know how to speak to you with respect. How many examples we got to have of it? King Randall helping people, helping children. You don't got to like his methodology. Don't change this man's path. Instead of you sowing a seed and helping this young brother, you try to make sow a seed of destruction. Well, if you ain't about this, you ain't that. Like it's whack. It's whack. Elders used to assist the younger generation and help them do what they doing better. Not try to tell them, no, come join this stupid shit I'm doing that ain't fix nothing, but it'll line my pockets. Most of these leaders only care about what they get.
My best-selling book is available for order now on Amazon.
Y'all go get that book. Now, I want you to hear something that Prodigy said. And this brother, I said, damn, Prodigy, it did end up getting unalive. But listen to this. This was back at, excuse me, I like to hear raps that say secret messages in it, because I think that's what rap was created, to talk about social justice and things that was going on. That's what rap was created. They was talking about real issues and they would hide it in rap. And Prodigy said this in 2007. And I want y'all just to hear the lyrics of what he said.
Government that worship an owl, they practice witchcraft to harness their power. Little kids for energy, it's satanic ritual, WTC. They lit the Pentagon on fire. That's lighting the pentagram on fire. Now hold on, let me cut that up. Hey.
Yeah.
I tell you a little secret, it's a secret. Government that worship an owl, they practice witchcraft to harness their power. Little kids for energy, it's satanic ritual, WTC. They lit the Pentagon on fire. That's lighting the pentagram on fire.
Now, I'm going to have to mute all this music before I play this, but I'm definitely going to have to mute this music. But y'all get the gist of it. And I think this is why people shut the hell up now, because they can't do nothing about it. They see people just disappearing, and you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Hold on. Now hold on. Everybody be talking about United States ain't shit. United States ain't shit. Hey, it's problems everywhere. This is Europe.
Is under siege. A Muslim immigrant friends did this shit. An African man was stroking his shit in the middle of the mall in Germany. He got schlong in hand. Babies walking by, head back, full. I can't put the video. Syrian refugee threw a 91-year-old lady down the stairs, but she grabbed this bitch ass and brought him with her. Then this fuck boy from Marypool decided to beat up randomly 4 women.
All right, and I couldn't play the rest of that because you'll see a man beating up a woman, and you'll see they're about to show you a clip. I'll show the rest of that on my Patreon. But they was about to show this dude beating the crap out of a female in the middle of the street in a couple of different countries that people walk by like this is legal. But then people will cry for these same countries and say Trump is bad when they allow treatment like that of women over there. Why would anybody be arguing for a country that allowing that type of treatment of women? Our women can stand in a Negro face and cuss them out. You go overseas, you can't do that. You cannot do that. Let's see. I saw this one. Let me vet this one first because I don't know if this one's for Patreon or this one's for, because I can't play certain one of these over here, boy. Because, boy, look at here. Instagram let you get away with a little boat. Okay. Yeah, this one seemed to be pretty clean. Well, not really, but it's pretty clean. But you guys are going to be in for a treat because, you know, they clean up these streets. This is Los Angeles, California. I got to turn the music off. This is Los Angeles. They love these people, though. Democrats love people. They love them so much, they let them do whatever they want to do. They won't clean up the street. This is love right here. They'll give them a syringe. Yeah, they'll give these people a syringe. But that's love. And that's what you got to look forward to. You know, Trump is not a king. But this right here is what you can look forward to. Laying on the ground is much better than saying Trump is not a king. This is crazy. It's crazy, B. All right, let's get to some content. Let's get to some content. Let's see. Let's go to my history. Man, it's crazy. I should be. Now, let's play this video. Because Brandon Johnson, you know, he the man. This is on Retro Steph. Salute. Let's see if I can play this without getting. Let's play this under fair use. I just want to illustrate Brandon Johnson busing these kids from school that could barely read a god doggone thing and having them out there talking about things that they don't even have a clue about. Communism and socialism never worked anywhere. But these kids said it worked in Cuba. They said it worked in China. So I don't know. I thought capitalism, as much as people don't like it, I thought it keeps the economy going. Socialism, I'm not that smart, but I Googled and I didn't see a place where it worked. So let's see if y'all see something that I don't see.
What is happening? It's your boy Retro back again with another one. I know you guys could probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely going to want to check this one out. So we now have the parents of Chicago Public Schools calling for the removal of Mayor Brandon Johnson, citing his latest move where he allowed the students and the teachers to ditch class yesterday and be bussed into the anti-Trump May Day protest, guys. And I'm excited to get into this one. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's scoop.
Right now, protesters are packing the streets of major cities across the country with a long list of demands, ranging from abolishing ICE to taxing the rich to today's rallying cry of putting workers over billionaires.
I want to show you right at the very front of the big march, like he's Grand Marshal of the parade, is Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson there, leading the numbers out here. We've got thousands of people. We can't get close to him right now. You got all the bike cops up here doing their job, making sure everyone in the march is safe. But you've got thousands of people out here right now. It's quite a crowd. And one of the things that you might notice is you got a lot of young faces in the crowd. That's because there are a lot of students here who were encouraged by their teachers to walk out, if you will. That's another word for skipping school. Even though with all the young people that you see in this crowd, the elementary schools have just started letting out 5 minutes ago. Buses have been provided to take the students and bring them here to this demonstration. And that was part of a deal struck after Chicago Teachers Union had demanded that classes be canceled for this event today.
All right, folks, they're taking it too far.
Brandon Mayor Johnson, the guy that just sit around and beg taxpayers for money, now he got the time to walk up the street. Like, what in the hell? Like, what are we doing? He got time to walk up the street and make himself look like a civil rights leader. And that's all these people want to do. They want to look important. They want to seem way more important than they are while they're begging the federal government for money.
Once again, we see this is Chicago. Mayor Brandon Johnson is out there on the front line with all the students behind him because he thinks this is a better idea than for them to be inside of a classroom. They don't know. I mean, think about it. Half of these kids don't even know what they're protesting, not to mention the parents. The parents did not approve of this. I want to show you the reaction from the parents. This is a couple of weeks back when they initially heard about the plans for the May Day protest. They were not having it.
Our kids need to be in school. They need to be in school all of the days that they are allotted to be in school.
Southside resident Brittany Preston has 4 kids in Chicago public schools. Preston, who is married to State Senator Willie Preston, says she's not opposed to a civic day of action, but the confusion over May 1st has caused unnecessary headaches for families like hers.
It leaves the families and parents in limbo, right? We don't know how to prepare for this because nothing is set in stone. There's no concrete answer.
Kids that can't read, kids that are in a state that's this violent, they need to be out of school marching for things they don't know what the hell they marching for instead of worrying about getting an education. Schools that are overcrowded with the new illegals that they brought in, Mayor Johnson thought it would be a good idea to politicize these children. This is sad.
It wasn't on the calendar.
That's a shame. You send your kids to school, you think they're getting a good education, they're learning something important, but no, the teachers are now standing up to President Trump while in school, putting politics into school. I thought this was supposed to be nonpartisan, stay in the middle, allow the kids to form their own opinions, but that's not what's happening here. They're allowing the kids to skip school, ditch, and be bussed into random places in order to protest President Trump. Half of them don't even know.
Now, when I skip school, ain't nobody bust me nowhere. When I skipped school, I got a Saturday slip. I had to erase shit off the board. I got in trouble when I skipped school. These people say, skip school and we'll give you a ride the way we going. Like, what the hell? You take the Bible out of schools. You separate the school from the Lord, but you bring politics in? What do these kids know about politics? You bring politics into the school. You don't say, parents, talk to your kids about politics. You say, we know best. And what we know is we hate Trump. If this ain't indoctrination, if this ain't trying to make black and brown kids, because I'm pretty sure Sally and little Becca, they wasn't there. They parents ain't going for that shit. Becca got to become a nurse. And them Nigerians, they ain't going for that shit either. What do you mean my son out to school? I don't appreciate you taking my son out of school. He must be a doctor, surgeon. They ain't not going for that. Our kids are out in the middle of the street with this propaganda. And this is what blackness is, I guess. And then I'm a coon if I say this is stupid as hell.
What they're protesting, but again, the parents, they got ignored here. The teachers, once again, showing how powerful they are inside these schools. I want you guys to take a look at what teachers on the streets had to say when they were interviewed at these May Day protests.
Are kids being brought to the protest here today?
There are students who will be attending
Okay. And can you tell me roughly how many kids are going to be coming here today?
We are not exactly. We have around 2,000, a little over 2,000.
2,000 kids. How many different schools?
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of them.
A lot of them. Safety operation. So, how long have you been briefed about here today? Has it been like weeks of preparation, months?
We've been preparing.
You've been preparing.
So I've got to run to this.
Okay. Okay. If we don't document things like this, we will lose our country. Are kids offered to go to a Trump rally or something like that, or no?
Not that I am aware of. Nothing I can speak to.
That's wicked. I mean, you're going to force these kids into your politics because that's what you believe in. I wouldn't do that to anyone, not even my own.
They're going to protest ICE, but they're not going to protest the people coming over here. That's crazy.
Kid, I let them first learn what's going on, do a little bit of research, study some history, see what's happening in present day, and then form your own opinion, your own ideas. But we can see this is not that here with the school systems. They're putting their ideologies right inside of the kids' brains, no choice whatsoever. And the kids also were getting interviewed left and right. I want you guys to see what they had to say. I don't think this is right whatsoever. I think we should leave the kids out of it because half of them don't even understand what they're protesting for. And they wouldn't stand for this fake outrage.
Most of the teachers were pretty on board with the idea. So,
really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because originally it was a protest for the union. So they were pretty on board with it because they are part of the teachers union at the end of the day.
The teachers said just walk out of class so you could be...
Not necessarily, but there were some teachers that were like, it's a walkout. You guys can just go protest, go.
This is absolutely nutty.
The teachers are encouraging them. Go protest. Now, what's going to happen when these kids find something that they really want to protest about and they say, well, shit, you let us walk off of this other stuff? I wonder if they can walk out to protest them for Trump. If they want to protest for Trump, salute to you, brother. If they want to protest for Trump, I wonder if they'll be let out of class or will they get suspended? I think they'll get suspended.
Can tell the kids are just not in it whatsoever. They don't really understand what's going on. I never thought I'd see the day where the teachers are saying to the kids, hey, you need to ditch class, get out of here and go out on the streets, protest. I'll even give you a ride. I just never thought I'd see anything like this. And I mean, I'm all for it, go out there and protest for what you believe is right. But leave the kids out of it. I mean, leave the kids out of it. And I'm especially most upset with the left's use of the kids, the students as political pawns, because this is the same exact generation that missed an entire year of school. And these folks still struggle to read, if we're being honest. I want you guys to see this one. It blew me away. I seen it the other day and it really just put it in perspective how far behind the kids this next generation truly is. They missed a lot.
Read the index card for me.
She wore a suit, clothes that were... Who's this for? Extraordinary, but somewhat Gertrude?
No, explain what that means.
I don't know. Somewhat Gertrude?
No, explain what that means.
I don't know.
She wore a sahalat of clothes that were extraordinary, whatever, bro, but somewhat. What does that mean? She wore a lot. Wait, she wore. Bro, I don't know, bro. Can you take the card back, please?
She wore a. Oh, baby. She wore a silhouette of clothes that were. I don't know that word. I don't even know how to read. I don't know why I did.
She wore a silhouette of clothes that were extraordinary, but somewhat gauche. All right, now what does that mean? I have no idea. Like his clothes was tasting something like that. She wore a. I don't know what this said. I don't know what this.
At least this dude knew what extraordinary was. That goose shit was different, but at least he knew how to say extraordinary. The rest of them didn't even know how to say that. That's crazy. How you can't say extraordinary as a fucking high school kid? But they out here protesting.
I don't know what to say. I can't read it. Can't read it.
That's when the kids used to fight back in the day. Get that shit out my face, man. Quit trying to make me read, huh?
I know you're probably frustrated after seeing that one. How these kids, they're struggling. They can't even read extraordinary. I don't understand it. Why the teachers will believe that it's appropriate to take the kids out of the schools and ship them off to the streets to protest. This is a terrible move from the Dems. But again, whatever gets the numbers for them, whatever gets the most meat, keep continuing to get away with this billionaire funding of all these protests. They're paid and propped up. Nothing's organic with them.
Let's call it exactly what it is. It's not really a May Day protest. This was an anti-Trump, pro-socialism, pro-communism protest. And the irony, of course, guys, is that the very people, the millionaires and billionaires, a little Bernie Sanders this morning, who they purport to want to fight against were the very people who...
What the hell are they doing? This Mayday. They chaining themselves in front of the building. Oh, Lord have mercy, man. This is where you, never mind. Shut up, KB.
Funded a lot of these crazy events yesterday. And listen, some of my personal favorite moments, as you guys just alluded to, are the fact that you had people out there with like a pro-socialism sign. And when asked, what is it you liked about socialism? They have no idea. They went to another rally somewhere else in the country and asked people out there, well, can you name the socialist-run, communist-run countries that have been successful? Guess what they said? China, the former Soviet Union, and Cuba. Okay, this whole thing was a joke. And unfortunately, not a funny joke, because as you noted, they got our kids involved. The teachers' unions have cared absolutely zero about America's children. That is not a mystery to anyone out there. But what were they doing yesterday with America's kids? They were busing kids to these events, to these rallies around the country. And at a time when you have kids who aren't even reading or doing math at grade level, what were they learning in school yesterday alongside these rallies? They were learning activism, transgender issues, and DEI. This is shameful and this is crazy. This whole thing was a waste of time and resources. But hey, I guess anything to get the kids on the socialist bandwagon early, guys.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness, another failure of a protest coming from the loonies on the left. This time it was even worse. I feel like they crossed the line that you just don't dare to cross when they brought the kids into it. You've never seen this before in history, especially not from the right. President Donald Trump.
No, because nobody thinks that it's a smart idea to bring kids with you when you're trying to get adult business accomplished. You only bring kids to hide behind something. You hide behind them kids. If you bring them, what are they there for? They don't even understand what they're looking at. But let me get that whole video on its own. So there was some parts of it I wanted to play it from Fox News on its own. But look at this, man. Look at this mess.
Alert, we are gearing up for a long day of May Day protests as left-wing agitators are now gathering across the country, ditching work, staging school walkouts, boycotting businesses, demanding an end to ICE, and protesting President Trump. You are looking at that. Well, hello, everyone. This is Outnumbered. I'm Kayleigh McEnany on this Friday here with my co-host, Emily Campagno. Also joining us, Rosanna Scotto, Fox 5 New York anchor and host of The Underground Economy on Fox Nation. Donna Rotuno, criminal defense attorney, Fox News on those protests, and former clerk for streets of major cities across the country with a long list of demands, ranging from abolishing ICE to taxing the rich to today's rallying cry of putting workers over billionaires. And right now in North Carolina, teachers are taking part in a statewide protest as more than 20 school districts.
It sounds good to weaponize everybody against billionaires, but that guy in New York, that billionaire in New York, I think he kind of showing y'all why you don't weaponize against billionaires, because he was about to build a skyscraper in Midtown, and that just took away thousands of jobs. I think he was going up. He's going to have the tallest skyscraper in New York, and thousands of jobs lost right away because Mendavi wanted to go in front of this man's hotel and challenge him and disrespect him in that way. So now he's taking his funding and he's going elsewhere. Let's guess where he's probably going to go with his building. He's probably going to go somewhere to Texas, Florida, Nashville, anywhere that understand that billionaires are needed because they take risks that create jobs for other people. That's a shame. Thousands and thousands of jobs, which the government do not ever create. The only thing the government can do is give you someone else's tax dollars. So to sit there and side with the government when all they can do is give you someone else's money. So let's play this. Man, I don't drink Celsius no more. Hell no.
Canceled classes today. Chicago stopped short of canceling classes, but the mayor is encouraging kids to join the protest today.
And so young people today, you're here by choice. You are here because you are creating action that will turn into power.
Here by choice? What? I don't give a fuck what you to let me out of school for. I'm gone. Look, you telling children, you telling kids they can get out of school, and he got the nerve to say they are there by choice. Like, seriously, it's some kids that probably skipped and didn't even make it. It's some kids like, oh yeah, we getting out of school. And then they skipped and they didn't go to that damn rally. They might have went and dipped off, but how can you control who stays and who leaves this rally? First of all. Number two, if you're going to give a kid school or in the streets, I'm pretty sure dang near every kid is going to take the streets. I'm sorry. So they're not there by choice. They're there because they don't have to go to school. That's simple.
Do not let anyone take your power away from you as young people. Thank you for being a part of this movement. Thank you for
Brandon Johnson, you already taking their power away from them. They can't read. What the fuck you mean don't take their power? These kids can't read. If they can't read contracts, if they can't do certain things, then how in the world are they going to be successful in life? You've already taken their power based on the fact that you didn't give them a foundation. It ain't like you taught them the tax code. You didn't teach them the tax code. You didn't teach them how to read. You didn't teach them math. You didn't teach them STEM. You didn't teach them anything that's going to get them ahead in life. Some of these people are not even going to remember Trump. So how is this going to be beneficial down the road? Teaching them a baseline of how to read, that's going to benefit them down the line. So you've already taken their power. Yelling in the streets ain't power.
raising your voices as young people.
And as we mentioned yesterday, these rallies come as our nation's kids struggle with math and reading proficiency, especially in Chicago.
Man, I'm glad she put them numbers up right after I said that. 3rd through the 8th grade, reading is 42%. Math is at 27%. 11th graders are reading at 24%. And doing math at 25%. Sir, you failed these kids. I'm sorry to laugh. How in the world can somebody say, don't allow you to take their power when the only power they had was to learn how to read, learn math, learn the thing that's going to go with them in life? You stripped them of that, taught them how to yell in the streets and not like Trump, and you got them thinking that's power? And they're reading at a 24% rate in the 11th grade? Jesus Christ, boy. Trump is not a king.
Chicago. So who's funding these protests? Well, a Fox News digital probe shows that an American-born tech tycoon is a key financial backer behind hundreds of groups organizing thousands of rallies today. The report says a range of leftist organizations are leading a network of hardline communists and socialists. It also claims that the businessman is promoting propaganda on behalf of the CCP. So the socialists are getting the kids to skip school. What could go wrong there? Professor, your thoughts?
Well, like you said, in the People's Republic of Berkeley, every day is May Day. So, and I want to set up a May Day, get me out of there. But look, I was just walking over here and I tried to get into the New York Public Library, and there was a May Day protest trying to prevent people from reading. And that's what's going on all around the country. They don't want people to read, because if you read, you would know your history. And history shows socialism has failed every time we've tried it. Justice Thomas came to UT Austin a few weeks ago and gave a speech where he said socialism is inconsistent with the principles of the Declaration of Independence, our natural rights to life, liberty, and property. Socialism is the power of the government to take those away from you in service of something greater. And all you got to do is look at history. Mao was a socialist. Stalin was a socialist. They killed tens of millions of their own people in service of the kinds of ideals that these people are out there, I think, ignorantly protesting for right now.
Yeah, I once lived in the People's Republic of Cambridge, so I can empathize with you. I am keen on not seeing this become the People's Republic of America, but I am concerned, Emily, because when you look at polling, we do see a trend, and we see just 14% of Republicans have a positive view of socialism. But look at Democrats, 66% have a positive view of socialism. That is an extraordinarily large number.
And when you apply the age group within that, then it spikes the younger they are. So what we are seeing is the indoctrination in real time, in real effect on those students and also on the party writ large. I grew up in the People's Republic of Berkeley, and it wasn't that long ago when in my public schools, I went to all public schools in my life, we were taught about protesting for sure. But I remember on May Day doing the maypole, doing the braids. I remember learning everything. And the whole point is when we have this, the mayor talking about action to power, I mean, the real action is education. That's how my immigrant family thrived here in this country. And I'm not talking.
Oh, preacher. That's what I thought. The real power is being self-sufficient, being educated so nobody can't trick you and take advantage of you. That's long-lasting power. Knowledge is power, not shouting in the damn street. See, all the sayings and the things that I understand from back in the day, from the old school common sense people that I was raised up around, because not all were educated, and not all educated people had the answers. Sometimes the answer was just a common sense response. And so you need both people. I'm not putting one above the other. You need both. You need different vantage points to see something. And I was taught that knowledge was power, not making noise in the streets. Matter of fact, I was taught that the motherfucker who make the most noise is full of shit. So I don't understand why they're teaching these kids just to shout and yell instead of breaking down the problem and how to figure it out. Because anything that's going on, there's a way you can go about it to have maximum effects. And the people who are not shouting in the streets, the Asian community, the people who are not shouting in the streets, the Indian community, they seem to be getting whatever the hell they want, because they putting belt to ass when it comes to lobbying, when it comes to getting those politicians to understand what they're going to do with their vote. And now in Minnesota, those Somalians was able to rake the federal tax dollars over the coals because Tim Walsh wanted their vote. He was very aware of what it was going to take to get their vote. And I think it took looking the other way on some things that they were doing. Ilya Omar, same thing. Every time a brown person get in office that is not black, they make sure they take care of their people. We called, who do we call black? We called this lady black. I don't know, forgot her name because I don't know how to say it. Kamala Harris. Kamala. I call her Kamala. Kamala. I don't give a damn how to say it. I say my own name wrong. Kamala Harris. They called this woman a black woman, but I think she's an Indian because she took care of the people that was important to her, which was Indians, because she's an Asian Indian. She's not black. And they tell us that we can't take care of our own race. For some reason, we're the only race that you can't have a black agenda, but you can have an Asian agenda. You can have an agenda for every other race except black. Because we don't stand on nothing. Because we don't. Why would the Republicans fuck with us? Because we don't vote for them. I'm not buying your girl dinner. I'm not doing nothing for your girl. Now your girl come on over here with me, then now I might get it. Yeah. But other than that, that's your responsibility. So you got to look at it like that. Don't be asking what the Republicans do for you when you ain't do nothing for the Republicans.
About the apparition of education that is the teachers' union's control over what school looks like now. I mean actual education, actual learning. These kids are being deprived today of reading and math, as we know reflected in their abysmal scores. I will say that I've done my part. I popped over to H&M before work and bought something. I'm at work right now, and I'm going to do like a free CLE. We have these continuing legal education courses online later to make sure that I hit the trifecta of what they are trying to stop us from doing.
Yeah, you know, Donna, the demonization of billionaires, there are many people in this country, especially if you're a billionaire in California, your effective tax rate is 50% higher in some cases, contributing quite a bit to the government, which is engaging in widespread fraud that they're overlooking. And when I think about what billionaires contribute, I think about Ken Griffin in the city, who was demonized by Zoran Mamdani, who was about to put in a project that would create, let's get the numbers, it would create 6,000 high-paid construction jobs, 15,000 permanent jobs. He's independently donated
God, now hold on. What did you say? 6,000 construction jobs and 15,000 permit jobs?
Let's get the numbers. It would create 6,000 high-paid construction jobs, 15,000 permanent jobs. He's independent.
God, dog, boy. That's a lot of jobs that one person is creating only to be hated. Damn. You create over 20,000 jobs just for people to hate you? What the hell? Why wouldn't I take my money and get the hell on? Nah, man, ain't nobody doing what I'm doing. I'm taking my money and I'm out to a place that respect and appreciate me. I wouldn't give a damn if I'm on Billionaires Row. Ain't nowhere in the world I'm giving out 20-some thousand jobs and you dissing me? Shit.
Donated $650 million to charity. His employees sit on 20 different charitable boards. They've contributed billions in taxes. Billionaires, we should want everyone in America to become a billionaire.
Not only should we want that, Kaylee, we should not only help it happen, but we should applaud it. And instead, we have the mayor of New York standing outside of his apartment building and saying he should have to pay more taxes. And then we have the mayor of Chicago that has made so many decisions that not only forced Ken Griffin out of Chicago personally, but he has now moved Citadel out of Chicago to Miami. And so here we have a situation where we are losing the people that give us the most in our communities. And I don't think people realize that. And I think this push, and when we look at these numbers of 67% of Democrats who think socialism is a good idea, life has been too easy. And that's why they think that. They've never lived in a circumstance where they've had to deal with these been too easy. And when we look at these numbers of 67% of Democrats who think socialism is a good idea.
Wait a minute. So you voting Democrat, and these people think 67% of these people think socialism is going to work. When there's not one place throughout history that we can find that socialism work. Maybe I don't know how to research it right. Maybe nobody know how to research it right because I haven't seen it where it worked. I haven't seen it where it worked. If you keep taking and taking away from people who have it, you're going to make them not have it. New York is going to look totally different. New York, California, these states that was once beautiful are going to look totally different. You got black folks hollering about socialism. When if you a street hustler, you know all about capitalism. I know niggas that done sold dope to their mama. I swear to God, I know Negroes that sold drugs to their mama. And when you break down why they did it, they be like, look, man, I done fought about this shit. I done did all kind of stuff about this, but guess what? She gonna go around the corner and get it anyway. And then she gonna come here and ask me for some money. So why not let me get the little money that she got, and I'm gonna give it back to her anyway when she needs something. And instead of her going having to do something with her body for it, then I give it when I can, because that's a sickness. So it's a fucked up situation. It is a messed up situation, but you don't let no money go nowhere. You don't let money go nowhere. That's just life. If it's money to be made, you make it. That's the way of the world. That's the way the world works. What do you mean socialism where you just taking from people? It's never worked and it's not going to work. So 67% of people that believe in just getting something from somebody else, I just don't see. That's not what we think in our head as black folks. I don't understand. You said that's trifling, KB. You got to understand. Some people mamas was the dudes was the drug dealer's first piece. All of that situation is trifling. You let your mama go around that corner, you don't know what them boys gonna do with your mama if she on drug. So all of it is trifling. For a young boy to go through that, if you never had a drug addict mama, you don't really know what those kids go through. So you can't really say what's right and what's wrong because it's fucked up. The whole situation is messed up. Trust me, I said the same thing you were saying at first. Until I see him go around the corner and whip 3 dudes that's trying to take his mom around the corner. So you got to understand, that's a lot to go on with that situation.
Yeah, life has been too easy. And
But
that's why
life definitely has
they've
been
never
too easy.
lived in a circumstance where they've had to deal with these types of laws, rules, circumstances where they're actually taking away. And what they don't realize is when you take away, and we're seeing it happen, right? Why is Kathy Hochul coming on TV begging New Yorkers to come back from Florida after she said, bye, see you later? And we saw it this morning in Seattle, where the Seattle mayor is saying, oh, we don't care if you leave, all you people with money. And what we're also seeing, and this has not been a huge phenomenon yet, but it's happening. There are people out there targeting billionaires specifically and wanting to harm them.
That's a cold bar. Dude say socialism work until you run out of other people's money. hey, socialism work until you run out of other people's money. That is 100% fact. As long as somebody else footing the bill, the party is still going.
This is happening in Florida. I mean, this is not a small issue. This is a huge issue, and you want to target people that give back. And look at what Ken Griffin has done for New York. Look what Ken Griffin's done for Chicago. Ken Griffin gave so much of his own personal money to programs in Chicago, and no one did anything for him except vilify him. So what is that saying about the state of this country? And if voters don't wake up, the people voting for this are actually the ones that get hurt by it the most.
No doubt. And you look at these kids, and I mean, some of these are teachers, some of them are presumably kids since they're being encouraged to protest in some jurisdictions. I just think we're raising a generation of kids that are steeped in progressive ideology, socialist ideology, in some cases trans ideology. And the part that troubles me most is an inability to critically think for yourself and engage in civil discourse. And I think this is very worrisome for the future.
Well, we see right now what's going on. This is not a grassroots rally.
How can you engage in civil discourse and everything you know you've been told? As soon as somebody break down the layer of what you've been told, all the thing you're going to do is yell, get out my face. You a hateful, evil bigot. Yeah, as soon as you don't hear what you want to hear, you're going to go to yelling and going crazy. It's crazy to me.
This is politically motivated rally. And one of the supporters, the UFT. And we saw what the UFT did during COVID, right? They actually said kids should stay home and do remote work. I mean, they did not want their teachers back in the classroom. And now we realize the harm they inflicted on our children. We see the numbers, whether it's New York, whether it's Chicago, they're not even reading at grade level. Half of the population can't read, can't write, and can't do math. I mean, where are we going with this? We see in New York City when Mayor Mondani was running, all the young kids. I mean, he won that election because all the young kids who've been indoctrinated, who parents had no idea what was going on, they came out and voted.
Yeah.
And it changed the election in New York City. We're going to see what happens because he, as you mentioned, Donna, he vilified Ken Griffin, went in front of his apartment. And by the way, his COO at Citadel said this was shameless. It put Ken Griffin in a dangerous situation. We now do not applaud an American success story. Ken Griffin started with nothing. He's a billionaire. And he not only...
They don't care if you start with nothing no more. You got it now. And that's sad. That's the sad reality of the situation. They want to start people's story at success. They don't want to start the story in them cold nights you getting up by yourself and ain't nobody around. They don't want to start the story where you hurting all over your body and you take whatever route you got to take to get there. I heard goddamn what's his name? The basketball player. He used to play for Miami. He always playing one-on-one now. Michael Beasley. He said he had to take the bus for hours just to go to practice. Hell, I took the bus from Brunswick to Atlanta to play in the All-Star game just so people can know my face and recognize me. I don't live in a city big enough for you to get recognized for basketball. So imagine being a 14, 15-year-old on a Greyhound bus by yourself. All these stops. You got 30 stops from Brunswick, Georgia, which is 4.5 hours away if you're driving in a regular car. But if you're on a bus, it's probably going to take you about 6-7 hours, probably 7 hours on a bus with all the stops. Just to practice and just to be seen. So when people pull themselves up by the bootstraps, as they say, they punish you for being successful. And I think that is crazy. They try to give everybody this story of this rich, spoiled person. And that's not true. You got to know a person's grind. They want to take away the work because they don't want people to see that it takes you. And if you don't work, you don't eat. All of this notion that somebody else is supposed to take care of your kid, take care of you, that's BS. If you don't work, you don't eat. That's what I grew up on.
Could change the landscape of New York City with 15,000 high-paying jobs right in the middle of Midtown. And of course, you talked about the construction jobs and the money that he gives to charity. I mean, this is exactly what New York City needs at a time that we're operating at a $5 billion deficit.
Yep. You can see that really starkly in the Portland area and sort of Seattle too, where you have Portland, which the result of demonizing billionaires and capitalism, and then really close by is Beaverton, Oregon. And essentially the entire metropolis has moved over just outside where Nike is now, that had business incentivization, normal suburbs, normal tax-paying citizens that don't do crazy things. But right next to it is a metropolis that we have seen metastasize and implode. Nordstrom pulled out, everything pulled out of the downtown there. Exactly. But right next to it now, across the pond, things are building up, and we see that with Seattle versus Bellevue. So really close to sort of a Gotham City, you have all of the fleeing people that are creating a robust, bustling, business-friendly environment.
The other point I want to make is that these billionaires, they don't mind paying taxes. They do pay taxes. They pay a lot more than we do. The problem is they don't want mismanagement with their funds. They don't want to give money. And we find out, like in New York City, for example, we've been paying for 10 schools to open up for pre-K. They have not been opened up in years. It's cost New York City $100 million for empty schools.
Yep.
No kids.
The empty preschools. And they didn't.
Hold on. Come again and say what? You say, hold on. I missed that.
Schools to open up for pre-K. Like in New York City, for example, we've been paying for 10 schools to open up for pre-K. They have not been opened up in years. It's cost New York City $100 million for empty schools.
Yep.
Wow. Wow. $100 million for empty schools. And they want these kids to have power. They want these kids to be educated. $100 million. And so just think about a billionaire and how hard they work for their money, right? Only to realize that even the money that they're given is being abused and misused. How are you going to want to tax billionaires more instead of fixing what you do with the money that you are actually getting? I don't think you need to tax billionaires more. I think you need to clean up the house and stop making these congressmen and women so rich based on the legislation that they passed, and the money seems to not be going where it should go. I think the money is going overseas and then coming back to these politicians in the form of donations. That's how they stay in office, and that's how they go from making $200,000 to becoming rich. These guys have the best scheme in the world. All they got to do is make policies that enrich them, because it don't make sense to purchase schools that are empty on taxpayers' dollars and then say we're going to tax you more. Like, no, what the hell did you do with that money? Why is there empty schools? Fix that first.
No kids.
The empty preschools. And they did not plan to put them in places where there was a demand for preschool.
I mean, it's insane.
And think of the irony of that. The socialists did not plan supply and demand concepts, which are the basis of economics, which all wields out to socialism not working. We are sitting in a grand socialist experiment right now, but unfortunately we know how that experiment plays out in failure, and maybe someone can teach the kids that. All right.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-host Harris Faulkner and
I hope y'all know what that title W.W.W meant. It meant Weak Weasel Wednesday. But I'm not talking about these Negroes on YouTube, especially not on these channels. We're talking about the lying media. We talking about these politicians that take advantage of children. And that's what we on. We ain't on this stupidity. Yeah. We ain't on this stupidity. Now I want y'all to check this one out. This is on Kingdom React. Hey, this lady is so funny on this. This lady on this one is so funny because they don't have policy. They do not have policy to give you. All they have is Trump is not a king. Trump is bad. Shout out to Kingdoms React. Y'all go sub up. All they have is Trump is not a king. All they have is negative things to say about other people. But when you ask them to focus on them, don't tell me about your ex. If me and you want to start the date, I don't want to hear nothing about your ex. Tell me about you. What are the good things about you? I know what he did. What are the good things about you, though? And this what seems like the Democrat Party strategy is to only talk about negative things, point the finger. And when you ask about them, point the finger even harder.
Watch what happens when a political party runs out of answers, okay? But still tries to sound confident in the midst of that, because what you're about to see is not strategy. Nope. It's scrambling dressed up as certainty.
Hey, what's up, y'all? What y'all doing? I just want to ask a question to the Democrats, because they be under my comments talking about Trump this and Trump that, but I have a serious question for you guys. When you take away all the hate that you have for Donald Trump, what is you guys' message? What is y'all standing on? What cause are y'all fighting for? Because at this time, I don't see one. Y'all message and your hate for Trump got blurred and it got intertwined with each other to the point where I don't even know what y'all policies any damn more. Only thing I know is free healthcare, free this, free that for everybody. But you haven't even told us how you gonna pay for it. Then you fools talking about, oh, we care for the American people's safety. But but get mad when we try to convict criminals and put them in jail and deport people back to where the fuck they came from. Y'all get mad. Then y'all want to say that y'all want to cure racism, but paying organizations to amp up racism. I say y'all want to lower taxes for Americans, but y'all let people come in America to fraud the hell out of us.
That's America. Yeah, that's what they gonna do. That's what they gonna do. They gotta, if they want to stay in power, they have to have a level of commitment to keeping the problem going somehow. How can we account for asking for all this money from the federal government if things change and start doing better? That means my program, you don't need it no more. If you look at everything from a grassroots level, if from a federal standpoint, the federal government can't help you fix nothing. You got to do it on a local standpoint where local people hold people to task for what they do with that money. Because the federal government only looking at what you send them. You got to have people in your county, in your town, that's not going to go with the go along, get along gang and take the money, which is hard to do. Because once you start sending in that type of money into a county, into a city, you can get 7-8 people to get on board with the money grab and keep that shit protected real easy. Real easy. If you run the town, especially in these smaller towns where most black folks don't even turn out to care about politics because they keep saying black folks don't do politics. But what if black folks would have did politics and paid attention to the 94 crime bill? Wasn't it a 92, a 96, and a 98? There was more crime bills. What if black folks was doing politics? There would have never been a 94 crime bill because people would have said, you know what? This is going to disproportionately affect us. And so we're not going to allow this to happen. But when you sit back and say things like, I don't do politics, then you get what you get. Because everything goes through politics, where you're zoned at, where you go to school, or how much money goes into your district. All of this involves politics. So if you were doing politics at the time where white folks was coming up with these things that end up locking up our uncles, our fathers, our grandfathers for an exorbitant amount of time for the same crime, if not a lesser crime than white folks, then maybe we would be in a different situation. I think we should do politics more. We should talk about politics at the dinner table, which we don't sit at. We should talk about politics in the car instead of always playing music. Everything that they told our black culture, I see white, Nigerian, and Asian cultures participating in, and they are flourishing. They don't let their kids just sit and listen to iPads. Their kids listen to them at the dinner table. And when they're talking about politics and money, those kids are listening and learning. So yes, we have to start talking about politics. Whomever told you that black folks shouldn't do politics, do not complain when laws are passed that don't benefit you because you don't do politics, remember? That's the easiest way for the so-called white man that you don't like to control you because you don't do politics. You tell people don't ever talk about politics with your friends. Don't ever talk about politics with your family. And then guess what family and friends get together and do? Just turn up the music loud, eat chicken and shit, eat barbecue, and keep being stupid. You got to talk about this type of stuff because this is what you govern. The policies turn into law, which we all are governed by. When you say you don't do politics, but then when they pass them policies, and them police officers put them pistols on you because they're enforcing those policies which turn into law that you got nothing to do with, remember? While you yelling and saying, I don't got to do this, I don't got to do that, that new law changed. That new policy said, yeah, you got to do that now. But you didn't even know. That ain't going to stop this cop from putting 2 in your ass because you get out of control because you didn't know. Right, KB, just like curing cancer. If they cure it, drug companies go out of business. They never going to cure that. No. We going to get you close to not dying and you going to just keep paying for this medicine. I believe they got the cure for everything. We too smart. We got the cure for everything. But what is the money? The money ain't in the cure. Yeah, the money is not in the cure. The money is in the maintenance, maintaining you. That's where the money at. So all we're doing is cattle being maintenance. That's why you gotta get back to the natural way, get back to the herbs, get back to eating right, get back to worried about what you putting in your stomach. Your stomach is very important. Get back to worrying about that. Old school folks knew. They didn't just go to McDonald's. They didn't just go to Chick-fil-A. They were very careful and intentional on what they put in their stomach. They didn't eat everybody else's food. They didn't go to them restaurants. I know some folks. I'm from the people that even when they said, you know what, we gonna end segregation and we gonna mingle together. I'm from them people that still didn't eat your food. I'm from them people that we ate before we came. We still not going to your restaurants. We still had a few black restaurants that we would go eat at. And it wasn't the best food for your health, but it was all natural food. And that's what people don't understand. Sometimes you can eat things that are not as healthy as long as it's organic. As long as it's your own pigs, as long as it's your own chicken, as long as it's your own stuff. We used to take pride in that. Now we just want, if you unalive a chicken in front of a kid nowadays, them kids probably gonna need to go to the hospital. And that's something that I saw my grandmother do right in front of me. She turned that chicken neck and had that pot of water, dipped that chicken in that water, the feathers came off, busted open and sectioned all the chicken off. You got fresh chicken. You do that in front of a kid now, they're gonna need help. Your ass going to jail.
And still billions. What the fuck is your message at this point? Because I don't get it. Maybe it's just me. Is it y'all like, can somebody help me? Like, what is your policies? What is your message for America if y'all got back in office? Please tell me. At this point, y'all might as well become Republicans, okay? Because y'all got Trump more in y'all mouth than anybody else, okay? We don't even know if y'all for him or against him at this point because it seemed like he broke up with y'all and y'all pissed off or something. Y'all act like Trump was your boyfriend and he don't want you no more, so now you're pissed off. It don't even make no damn sense at this point. Am I living in an alternate universe? Please, somebody tell me. And the moral of the story is, you guys are the party of evilness, destruction, chaos, division. You guys are up to devious mischief. Did I say that right? Oh, hell, y'all know what the hell I mean.
I like this lady.
At this point, Democrats, y'all look like this.
Sunshine is my destroyer.
That's exactly how y'all look when y'all go home and take off y'all human mask. Just like the devil, your father.
Wow.
To realize how they don't care about us. So you know what they want? They want illegals. They need illegals to keep them in business. How you think about it? Illegals come and get more than us. And then they let them vote. So who you think they're going to vote for? Of course, they're going to vote for the people who just gave them everything. And you're going to sit here as an American and just let everybody come here and surpass you, but yet they're crying for your vote? Like, make it make sense. Like, I'm not saying you have to.
Roland Martin gonna call you stupid and he gonna take you down the lane of 1944 and 56 and 2013, 1800 and the new revolution 64. He ain't gonna want to hear nothing about what you saying currently, ma'am. He gonna take you down a road that is gonna confuse you and you're gonna be like, I'm tired of hearing this shit. But I like what you're saying, sister.
Like Trump personally, but if you listen to what that man was saying, he clearly was trying to put Americans in America first. He asked them folks, do y'all agree that we should keep and put America and Americans first as priority? None of those Democrats stood up. None of them clapped.
What y'all think about that? Should we put Americans first and nobody clap? How do y'all feel about that? I think anybody that don't clap for America first should get the hell out of America. If you don't want to clap for where you at first, like, can you imagine if whatever your last name is and you at your house with your wife, your girlfriend, your partner, whatever, and your kids, you be like, the Johnsons first, the Browns first, the Lewises first. And one of your family members saying, hell no, shit, we gonna put the Sims first. You better get the hell on with the Sims then. You better get the hell on with the Sims then.
Right there, let you know they don't care about us, our country, nothing. They care about them pockets. all those high taxes and they're getting those tax breaks and down the line getting kickbacks? Why do you think they fought so hard? They sat there and told us, remember Kamala? No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, just to turn around and vote against it and make a whole shutdown.
Off the charts with what he says. Ben Ferguson, podcast host. What?
I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, but they made a whole shutdown because that wasn't their policy. That was Trump's policy. Trump was no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. Kamala just adopted that just to say something. And then as soon as she got the opportunity, she showed you she didn't really have no plan. But I'm still with you when you're right, sis.
That's crazy. Like, insane. You cannot have that much hate for a person that you're willing to let everything crumble instead of see a solution that's going to help your people and figure out another, like, strategic way to beat your opponent. Like, last night, Trump said everything I wanted to hear. And then the Democrats showed everything that I needed to see. Period.
Obviously, this was a little while ago, but that right there, that's not a policy critique. That's a reaction. All right, folks? That's somebody watching in real time and realizing, well, wait, you don't even need to look interested in the stuff you.
And that's what they don't want you to do. They don't want you to watch in real time. They want you to listen to Rollin Martin so he can go back to 1947 and all this other shit and confuse you.
What are they looking at?
Yeah, it's victim shaming 101. This is no different than if someone's raped and you say, well, she was dressed scandalous for the club, so she kind of deserved it. That's what they're doing here. And then when they say Donald Trump doesn't care about you and he's going to put your life in danger if you're in his orbit, Donald Trump's not trying to kill anybody. Donald Trump's not shooting at anybody. Donald Trump isn't telling people to shoot at him. Donald Trump is trying to calm it down while the left keeps ratcheting it up. And this goes back to what you and I talked about days after. The Democratic Party refuses to understand that their words of calling this president a Nazi, Hitler, a dictator, a tyrant, it goes on and on, the number of names they keep using against him, is inspiring people to try to kill the president of the United States of America. And when they're called out on it, they double down on it because their intent is clear, Harris. We don't need to sugarcoat it. I say it again. This is a president that the Democratic Party will never stop going after because they want someone to kill him. They can't stand him, they hate him, and they will never tone it down because they want him dead. That's the facts of this Democratic Party. Hakeem Jeffries is proof of that.
You know, when they're talking like that, though, we do know at the same
this is where it gets wild. You've got rhetoric getting hotter, louder, more dramatic. And then when something serious happens, they flip it. Now, somehow the person being targeted is the problem. That's not just dishonest. That's lazy because it avoids the real question. What kind of language are you pushing out there daily at that? You can't spend years turning something or somebody into a villain in people's minds. They're not confused when they start spiraling over this guy. Yeah, man, that's not confusion. That's what I call deflection. You know, and not just spiraling over him, but spiraling just when things in general start getting chaotic for them. And once the tone gets that reckless, don't be surprised, man, when it starts to trickle down.
I'm a true Trumpian. Whatever Trump says, I'm with him.
Shut the fuck up and die faster. Those gnarled rat claw hands, those are a symptom of lifelong racism.
You know, when I saw this video on the other side of Instagram, I thought, usual suspects saying the usual stuff, right? But what really disturbed me is when I went into the comment section, and it wasn't comments like this or this, but it was this comment right here that summed up the whole far left of the Democrat Party.
Yep. Now this one's just ugly.
I'm a true Trumpian. Whatever.
Forget politics for a second. This is basic decency. 107, I'm sorry, I sound like I said 170. 107-year-old woman. And that's the energy you bring? But here's the part that obviously the leftists don't want to admit, right? That kind of disrespect doesn't come out of nowhere. It's obviously learned. It's reinforced. It's what happens when people are told long enough that anyone who disagrees with them isn't even worth being treated like a human being. It's not passion. That's rot. Meanwhile, on the other side of all the noise, something else is happening that they don't know how to deal with.
Y'all take a look at this. Trump might not be an idiot, not a clown, not even reckless, but the only guy in the room who already knows how this ends. And by the end of this, you might start seeing it too.
Uh-oh, hold on, technical difficulty. What's happening with the internet? Oh, let me pause this, y'all.
Doing, fighting Iran, pushing NATO, picking fights with everyone, Canada, Mexico, Europe. It looks messy. It looks stupid, like everything's falling apart, right? Good, because that's exactly how it's supposed to look. Right now, the entire world runs on Middle East oil. Japan, around 75%. India, about 60%. China, nearly half. Europe, deep in.
And this right here explains what I was saying the other day when Mel and all of was on the panel, how Trump is going to make us a superpower by just blocking the strait. He blocked the strait, and that stopped 20% of the world's oil in Europe to go around and flow how they were supposed to go. Iran and got a backlog of oil. They got no money their economy is going down. I think Trump is just letting them save face by saying we're going to stop the shooting at the strait right now. But I think Trump is doing this for a reason. He is a businessman. He understood that our jobs have been sold out overseas. Yep, that's the same thing Taryn was saying. Like he understood that you have to go overseas to get the jobs back, get the revenue and the money back that was outsourced overseas. So it kind of looked like it's flipped, because most people say clean around your front porch before you clean around somebody else's. But when other administrations have done been in your house and they done redirected the way the thing's supposed to go, and they outsourced everything to overseas, you got to go fix that first. That is fixing your house.
And most of that oil moves through one place, the Strait of Hormuz. And yeah, this isn't small. Around 20% of the world's oil flows through that one choke point. So think about this. What happens if that just stops? No warning, no backup, just gone. Prices spike, markets panic, supply chains start snapping. Countries don't just struggle, they start making desperate decisions. But here's what most people miss. Oil isn't rare, it's just controlled. The biggest reserves? Venezuela, Canada, the United States. So now think carefully. If the Middle East reserves, Venezuela, most people miss. Oil isn't rare, it's just controlled. The biggest reserves? Venezuela, Canada, the United States.
Who is Trump going after? Trump going after Canada, told them they need to get on their job. Trump's bitch slap went after Venezuelan president, locked it, and perp walked his ass, and now he going after Iran. So you got to think about it.
So now think carefully. If the Middle East goes dark, where does the entire world turn? North America. And that's where it gets uncomfortable. Because who's holding U.S. debt? China, Japan, Europe, the same countries that would suddenly need American energy just to keep running. So what do? Walk away from the dollar and lose access to energy, or stay locked in because they have no choice. And now here's the part nobody talks about. What if looking chaotic? What if looking like a clown is exactly what keeps everyone distracted? What if losing the war is how you win control? So tell me, is he just a buffoon, or are we watching the setup of the biggest economic trap ever played?
Now, whether you agree with all of that or not, you can't ignore the perception shift. Some people see chaos, other people see calculation. Here's the uncomfortable part for the critics, y'all. If even a fraction of that turns out to be intentional, then the he's clueless angle starts looking real shaky. Because you can't call someone, or something, random when it keeps producing results. And speaking of results, this next one is where this whole thing falls apart for the Democrats.
And this is one of those, because just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%. 100%. If you are a member of MAGA and the GOP, you approve of Donald John Trump. 0% say that they disapprove. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972 Miami Dolphins. Now, there are some Republicans who disapprove of Donald John Trump, but they are not members of the Make America Great Again movement. The bottom line is this. If you are a member of MAGA, you approve of Donald Trump.
It's interesting, though, because there have been a couple prominent people who have sort of come out online, and they're very mad about this war with Iran because he promised no new wars. Is there any sign that people might be leaving MAGA relative to 2024?
Yeah, okay. So, I've said it before, and, the theme of this segment is Tucker Carlson be darned. And when we look at the numbers, I've heard some people say, oh, you know what, when you look at those MAGA numbers, it doesn't account for those who might have left MAGA. But take a look here. Americans who identify as MAGA in November of 2024, it was 28% of Americans. Now it's basically the same. If anything, it's slightly higher at 30%. The bottom line is this. The MAGA base within the GOP is not shrinking. It's the same size. If anything, it is slightly larger than it was back in 2024 when, of course, Donald Trump won a second term. So that 100% that Donald Trump has approval among MAGA GOP, that is not an artifact of MAGA shrinking. It's just an indication of how strong Donald Trump's grip is on that MAGA base.
And so I guess it begs the question of what's happening with inside the GOP and if there are any splits there, because with those kind of numbers, they're going to want to retain that, right? So they can retain their seats.
Yes. And you know what we're talking about? You know, we mentioned Iran in the intro of this segment. GOP on U.S. military action in Iran. Look at this. In MAGA, it's 90% approval. It's 90% approval, just 5% disapproval. If you disapprove of the job that Donald Trump is doing, or excuse me, the U.S. military action in Iran, and you're a member of the GOP, look at this. It's your non-MAGA. You're non-MAGA. It's 36% there, 54% approved. But the majority of Republicans approve of the job that the U.S. military action is in Iran, and the majority of MAGA, which is the majority of the GOP, very much approve, 90%. Very little split in Donald Trump's base. Those who disapprove in the GOP, simply put, they hate MAGA.
It's really clear. MAGA.
They hate him. Oh, they hate him. Just looking at these numbers again. Approval right here.
That's a shame. Like, the numbers should not, like, I don't understand, man. I just don't get it, man. It's got to be an evil force out in this world that one party shows you that they don't have a plan. They'll take kids out of school. They don't really respect them. The other party will show you that they're at least, they don't like I do agree with what Stephen A said. Most Republicans probably don't give a fuck because y'all don't vote. So why would they? So, but all I'm saying is you got to think about it. But this Stephen A. Smith and Rollin Martin thing, I'm going to play it off Street Media TV. If it let me. I don't think it's going to let me.
And separating from each other, you have breakdowns on the radical left. Us found
nothing to do with politics. It got everything to do with the fact that when everybody else had turned their back on me, that war. It's like, no, that's my man. He ain't that person. What you talk about? Talk about the industry. You understand? Now, you in my life, I got love for you. We tight. And you gonna say like I betrayed the black community? They talking about me with this politics. I can show you a speech that I gave in 2007, right before Obama took office. In 2010, at Vanderbilt University, I said, listen to this quote, politics. I wish for one election that every black person would vote Republican. What? How can you say that? I said, it's simple. Since 1964, the black folks, we have been giving our vote to the Democratic Party at an exorbitant rate. Therefore, they know they got our vote, and they don't have to cater to us as much as we need them to. The Republicans know they'll never get our vote, so they don't give a damn about us. And as a result, we're the only community in America devoid of representation, which is why we're considered disenfranchised. I'm tired of that. What I want is to put ourselves as a community in a position where both parties have to work to get our vote.
Can I ask you this? Do you think you covering politics like you cover politics, in the words of your mans, is that good for business, your business?
It has the.
And this is Cam putting the beacon out to him. Hey, the way you cover politics, meaning that you're not lockstep with the Democrats. So the way you cover politics, because everybody should cover politics. Politics run the world. Even in the streets, what they tell you, nigga, we over here politicking. You're part of the gang, it's politics in the gang. You a part of America, there's politics in America. So to say that you don't do politics, what the hell are you doing? Like, I don't understand it. It just don't make no sense. You niggas politics in the streets. You don't think you supposed to politic in the real world?
The potential not to be. We'll have to see. So far it is. I think I'm doing pretty good. So far it is, but it has the potential not to be. But here's the point. Cam, if I thought like that, I'd never be here. There's plenty of decisions over the years I could have made that would have been good for business. But I had the courage to tackle the issues that I felt passionate enough to attack. That's what makes me me.
No, I like where you at. Because similar to you covering politics, it's almost similar for what does an athlete have the credentials to speak about other sports? For the record, why are you even speaking about politics, like what goes into the thought of like why from all your shows are your platforms, you have a show that's dedicated to politics.
Okay. So before I answer that question, let me close what I was saying by saying this. I said that not to discourage people to vote for Democrats or anything like that. What I'm saying is, if Cam wanted to buy this property, do you walk in, I'll give it to you, how much you want? Or do you investigate and find different spots and compare prices and see what better deal you're gonna get? Same thing if you're buying a car, same thing if you're buying a house. You're saying flatter me. Flatter me. What I'm saying, I said it back then, flatter us. Stop thinking that you get to assume that you have to earn our vote. That's it. That's all I'm saying. And that's what I stand on to this very day.
So the battle was on. And now, because of the statement that Stephen A. Snitch made on Cam Newton's show, Roly-Poly feels as though he has to come out and respond. He has to get out in front of that because they feel like there's an arms race, right, for seats. And he can't have somebody with a platform like Stephen A. Snitch speaking out against the Democrats. He can't do that. So now he responds and he comes back, right, with venom. He comes back saying this.
At what they are doing. So here's a perfect example. So I saw this a video of Stephen A. Smith on Cam Newton's podcast. And Stephen A. said something that I thought was interesting. Y'all go ahead and roll.
I wish for one election that every black person would vote Republican. What? How can you say that? I said, it's simple. Since 1964, the black folks, we have been giving our vote to the Democratic Party at an exorbitant rate. Therefore, they know they got our vote, and they don't have to cater to.
Now, I tried to warn Stephen A. though that he has a large platform and his mouth has been controlled for this long that he got to be careful getting into things like this because they try to make a punishment for you, which I don't know why. I don't know what he said that was so bad. I just don't. Like, I don't really like Stephen A. I don't. But I can separate my disdain for Stephen A. For this particular talking point because I think it's borrowed anyway. Or maybe he came up with this as he matured, but Stephen A. is the same guy who talked blackety black this whole time. I don't know what made him change up, but I mean, I remember the old Stephen A. and I think a lot of other people remember the old Stephen A. The guy who only disrespect black athletes, the guy who always talk up for white athletes, the guy who always talk about race, but now he's trying to sound like he's this strong brother that don't care about race. But we're going to disprove that in a second.
Us as much as we need them to. The Republicans know they'll never get our vote, so they don't give a damn about us. And as a result, we're the only community in America devoid of representation, which is why we're considered disenfranchised. I'm tired of that. What I want is to put ourselves as a community in a position where both parties have to work to get our vote.
Can I ask you this?
Okay. All right.
Do you think you
come to me? All right. So I texted Stephen A. earlier about that, and I'd sent him some information. I got no problem saying it. Here's why he's wrong. Because what he just said, we've always.
Here's why he's wrong. There you go. There you go. He's wrong for saying, let's make them work on our vote. What is he wrong about? This is the most educated dude that don't break things down that people say. I never seen a person that take a conversation, say that you're wrong, don't take your talking points, talk about what you're saying that's wrong, and break all of it down. He'll stick to one thing that you say and go back in time like a time traveler and talk about history. Watch what he does with this. He don't mention not one time what Stephen A. meant about, hey, we should all vote Republican one time as a good faith gesture. Like, hey, we in this bitch. Like, we'll vote for you too. Like, what's up? And that'll shift the balance to let people know we serious. He ain't gonna talk about that.
He's done that. Always. Black people.
Let me pause that because again, this is the 52 fake out flim flam. What he did was, and I'm not a fan of Stephen A. Snitch, but he's using foundational Black American talking points. He's been listening to us, right? He said after 64, He's going to go into the historical stuff, which I'm going to break down because we get in the classroom. And Rollin, you cannot, Rollin. A lot of us are educated. We're not stupid, Rollin. Stop running this game. Well, let's listen.
People were hardcore Republican voters after the Emancipation Proclamation and the end of the Civil War. Black people were hardcore Republicans from the 1800s through 1964. Y'all, these are facts. Okay.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Watch this. That's not true. Now there was a shift. There was a shift after the New Deal, right? Black Americans shifted from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party in the 1930s due to the New Deal economic relief during the Great Depression. While historically the party of Lincoln, many black voters felt abandoned by GOP, right? After 1877 and some of the things that they promised they didn't, right? They felt abandoned by the GOP and found tangible support, from FDR's programs, with 75% supporting him by 1936. The Great Migration to northern cities in dire economic conditions of the Depression drove black voters towards Roosevelt. Despite the 1930 shift, black vote, right? So you still have black voters, some of them still remaining loyal on a state level, right? But the majority, in 75% clip, supported FDR. So let's proceed back. I just, because I don't like this. I don't like this dude, man.
Okay. Now, understand, when you look at, matter of fact, Ted Cruz, if y'all want to laugh, Ted Cruz actually posted this stupid ass tweet where he tried to ask Grok, was it true this of what he read? And it said the first 20, it was something like the first 23 black members of Congress were Republican. And he goes, Grok, is this true? And I was like, dumbass, you didn't pay any attention in history class? We all know that was true. Black people were riding with Republicans because radical Republicans pushed through the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. It was Southern Democrats who were fighting Republicans. Now, when the Great Compromise of 1877 happened, guess what? Republicans sold black people out. Black Republicans called out Republicans by saying, y'all sold us out. Y'all left us out to pasture. Congressman White gives his great Phoenix speech. He was the last African-American who was in Congress from North Carolina, and he gave that great speech on the floor of the House. Now, guess what? Herbert Hoover was a Republican president. Herbert Hoover was the leader of the Lily White Party. Herbert Hoover, black people still voted for Herbert Hoover because Democrats were worse. What happens in 1948? You now begin to see Democrats nationally begin to embrace. They put civil rights in their plank. Of course, Senator Hubert Humphrey gives a passionate speech on the floor. He was fighting Southern Democrats. Now you begin to see the crack. Democrats, okay, all right, because black people were saying, well, Republicans ain't really riding with us. So you go to 52, 56, then you get
slow down.
To 60. Jackie Robinson.
Slow down. See, he went Herbert Hubert. But let's go over to Eisenhower, right? So black Americans showed modest temporary shift towards Republican Party during the 50s, right? He did during Eisenhower, driven by his personal popularity and dissatisfaction with Democratic alternatives, rather than a full realignment. While
hold on, let me get past this one part because I want to get it back to Roland Martin. If y'all want to hear that part, y'all can go get it on the brother's page.
Kennedy was sitting here being aggressive with it. Black folks shifted, solidified black support to Stephen A. started in 64 when Senator Barry Goldwater opposed the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Black people said, oh, hell no. Jackie Robinson, black Republican, campaigned against LBJ. Barry Goldwater then votes against the 65 Voting Rights Act, calling it unconstitutional and unnecessary. So the reality is Nixon comes in 68.
But the only reason why they brought that because of what Eisenhower did. He understood that they already studied us and saw the shift. They saw the shift with FDR and the New Deal, right? So whoever was bringing us the tangibles at the time. But he asked with Stephen A. Snitch in the classroom. Well, let's listen to some more.
The Southern strategy appealing to white voters. The Republican Party since 1964 has been anti-black and pro-white. Their entire agenda has been to appeal to white voters. Now, this is very simple. What I would tell Stephen A. is black people ain't dumb. Black people have.
Roland Martin, why wouldn't they appeal to white voters? Like, that don't even make no sense. If black people are ignoring me and they're only voting based on race in their party lines, why in the hell would I even talk to them? I heard that there was an agreement made that when they separated those party lines, that white Republicans would not campaign in black areas, and that black people would not campaign in white areas. It was like an agreement. Once they did the districting, okay, this is your district. We won't even try to go over to your district. So you guys might think it's the Republicans don't like you. It's just how that's the agreement that they made. See, the Democrats act like the Democrat Party is the party that love black folks. If that's the case, then you should not have to have these color lines in order for a white person to vote for you. If you are a Democrat and white folks like you, don't they love black people? They should be able to vote for you, no problem. But what they're actually saying is this is the party who freed the slaves. They love us. There was a party switch, but the only way we get elected is that we have our own black people vote for us. How does that make any sense? Didn't white people vote Obama in? Didn't white folks vote Obama in? So how is it that Obama can get a vote? How is it that these black Republicans can go in these white spaces and get a vote, but then the black Democrat can't go in white spaces and get a vote? Maybe that's because you only talking about blackity black. Maybe because that's all because you only talking about shit that they don't want to hear. If they're the party of all inclusive and no racism, then you should not be crying about no redistricting. You should be fine with that because a white Democrat is in your corner, right? Ain't that's the whole purpose of you saying Trump is racist? Those white Democrats are not racist. So if you don't get elected, it's because you're not good enough for the job, right? You can't have it both ways. You can't keep telling me white people in the Democratic Party are so great and they did all these things, but then they won't vote for you. Interesting.
Not given our vote away. Black people have made the decision that white people have not weighed.
He's not answering the question. He said the Democrats since 1940, since the 1964, what have they done? He's not answering the question. That's the part that's disingenuous. Y'all saw that in the beginning of the video. He's being disingenuous.
Black people, I need all y'all people who love saying, yeah, you a shield for the Democratic Party. Just listen to this here. Black people have always been smart with our vote. Because you know what we said? We said, okay, who is fighting for?
Rollin Martin, how the fuck have black people been smart with their vote? And we only been voting the same way for 50, 60 years and still complaining about our conditions. How is that smart? To make no one compete for your vote is smart? Okay, we agree to disagree, Rollin.
Our best interests. From 1865 through 1960, it was Republicans. Black people said, here my agenda.
It wasn't 1865 to 1960 was Republicans. I just showed you that that's not true. That's why we shifted at 75% over to FDR doing the New Deal. Why are you lying? Like what? Man, this guy is something else. And now after 64.
You know why he lying? He trying to get them to donate to his media team, just like they did last year. Salute to George Bacon. He trying to get donated to his media team, not to him. He didn't get the money. Plausible deniability. I'll sue you. It went to my media company. Y'all motherfuckers don't even know how deep you in metaverse.
Take a listen to Stephen A. Smith here.
Make no mistake about it. We wouldn't have a border crisis under my watch. Hell no. We wouldn't have this crime that exists in the streets of New York. You wouldn't hear about me saying defund the police. We ain't defunding any police. I'm calling 911 when there's a problem. I know you're calling 911 when there's a problem. I'll be damned if I'm going to have less police officers out there. There's going to be more. That's me. I would focus on a flourishing economy and making sure we did everything we could, because I believe when you have something to lose, you know how to behave. When you have something to lose, you know how to behave. If you have nothing, you have nothing to lose. And as a result, you're willing to tear down anything, even if it's America, because you feel betrayed by a country that's supposed to be looking out for you and positioning you to thrive instead of wallow in misery and suffering. So, of course, I would pay attention to the economy. I would pay attention to all of those things.
Does you worry about racism if you ran for president?
No. I know it exists. I know that you can't escape it, but I do not believe it is as prevalent as some on the left would like us to believe. I do.
One thing I don't understand is people put money over their own life. Like, people put money over their own life. They always say if a person don't got nothing to lose because they have money. God didn't give you money. He gave you life. That is one of the most precious things ever. You got something to lose, your fucking soul. What you mean you ain't got nothing to lose? Are you crazy? Everyone has something to lose, and you're supposed to treat your life like you have something to lose. You can lose your life being stupid.
I believe a vast majority of Americans judge you on the content of your individual character rather than the color of your skin. I think a lot of people in America, especially in this day and age, now more so than ever before, it's not about race. It's about the fact that they don't give a damn about it because they got their own problems. That's entirely different than believing they are superior to you. And
Mercy T, good morning. Good morning. How you doing? Stephen A. Smith, I agree with that part. Most white people don't give a damn what's going on now. Is there still some racist white people? Yes, the SPLC paying them. We already know that now. There is still a level of racism because they're getting paid to be racism. And the ones that's already embedded in them, they just getting extra incentive. So the SPLC is buying racist people. Hell, I might want to act racist a little bit just to get me a little change. Don't nobody pay you to be racist against white people. But if anybody out there offer me up money, I'll say fuck Paul right now. Salute to you, Paul. But yeah, there's a level of racism. But at the end of the day, he's right. Most white people don't give a damn. They got their own problems. They trying to keep their boats up. They trying to keep that money turned over. They trying to be able to speak without getting thrown in jail. Shit. I gotta find that Instagram or that TikTok that I saw. This lady told it like an EI is. I gotta find it.
they want to hold you back from ascending. That's not what's going on to the degree that it was decades ago.
So you heard him there, right? Now, some of you who may not know the history of Stephen A. Smith will say to yourself, okay, what's wrong with him saying that there's no, racism play a critical role in the day-to-day affairs in the United States, today? But what's wrong with him saying that? He can't have an opinion? Of course no one is saying that Stephen A. Smith can't have an opinion. Of course not. I'm certainly not saying that. The problem is we have known Stephen A. Smith since the early 2000s. And that Stephen A. Smith seems diametrically opposed to the person we just played here. So what we want to do is we want to play a compilation of videos of Stephen A. Smith complaining about race over the years, just to show you guys that this new Stephen A. Smith is a switch up. Take a listen to this. Take a look at this video here.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way around this. This is white privilege. We are still black in this country. We don't trust this country in terms of meritocracy always. We know the bottom line is that just like women are underpaid compared to male counterparts, blacks are underpaid compared to white counterparts. Has no team. They ain't African Americans that have been toiling through the terrain and trying to become executives in the National Basketball Association. Last time I checked, that's the case. We see coaches on the sideline. They don't want to become head coaches. They've been assistants for years. You, as a black man that points out these kind of things, this kind of inequities when they take place, I want to make sure Nathaniel Hackett knows this is nothing against him. He gets the job with the full support of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, who, by the way, never insisted that a black candidate be interviewed and be put front and center so we'll know who that individual is. We got Brad Stevens here. About when we talk about the ease with which dehumanization kicks in when it comes to black men. Mm-hmm. What I can tell you is this. Numerous coaches, black coaches, called me expressing how they took issue with that podcast taking place. They call it Black Friday for, Black Monday rather for a reason. This certainly typifies it. I don't know why it's not called White Monday. Doug Peterson got fired from Jacksonville. He deserved that firing. The one thing that I want to say is that in this nation, on too many occasions, we've lamented black fathers, the absence of black fathers and all of this other stuff. So I find it very, very ironic that when that's not the case with those three men that I mentioned, all of a sudden it's a problem. In other words, y'all won't say it, I'll say it. Yeah. Those in America who think differently, you kiss our ass.
So you saw it there. The video we just played is Stephen A. Smith for the last damn near 20 years. For the last 20 years. Then all of a sudden, he decided that he wanted to become a political pundit. And then now all of a sudden, race is not an issue. Help me figure it out. What happened in the last year and a half or 2 years that made you realize that race wasn't an issue? Seriously. What made you come to that conclusion? And that's what people are talking about. Him saying the black community turned on him. They turned on him because he changed colors. We have been used to this guy spewing one particular kind of rhetoric for 20 years. And then all of a sudden now there's this switch up. That's what people are talking about. They're not just pulling this out of thin air. That's where the issue lies. Now, I'm not going to get too much into the political commentary of it because people have complained. Don't talk politics on this channel. We haven't spoken politics on this channel since last year, and I'm not going to do that. If you want to hear my political views, go over to my channel. Here's what I think, and you can subscribe to it. Charles Tabansi.
That's crazy that you got to separate channels because people will like you one minute. I told you it's all about who we like. They'll like you one minute, then hate you the next minute. So he has to talk all basketball on one channel, all politics on another channel. And I understand. You got to give the consumers what they want, but damn, that's crazy. Right, wrong, or indifferent. The tooth should be the tooth. But hey, I want y'all to see what Kash Patel is doing. Kash Patel, this is on Professor Nez. Kash Patel is using AI to catch your ass now. Oh, Lord. Hey, y'all check out what's going on now. See, if you want to be a real one, I want you real ones to hear this because I'm fake. But I want the real ones to hear this because now Kash Patel is using AI. So look how fast he's saying he can do things with AI now. This shit is scary. Boy, niggas gonna be in trouble. Well, not necessarily scary, but it's just that AI, you just don't know where they stop with it at.
The resources. That's why we're bringing in things like AI. AI was never used at the FBI until we got there. Literally.
That's crazy.
I'm using it everywhere. I'm using it in places to like our criminal justice information system database so we can pop fingerprints immediately and get fugitives and arrest warrants out. I'm using it in places like our National Threat Operations Center. I'll give you an example. They wanted to do it human by human. Can you imagine how many tips the FBI gets a week? Thousands. If we had just humans look at it, we would never sift through them all. I put AI in there. We stopped a school massacre in North Carolina because we got a tip and we were able to triage it with artificial intelligence.
Wow.
We stopped a school shooting in New York because we got a tip from our private sector partners who are building our AI infrastructure because we were able to. I mean, just think about the old school movies like, Patriot Games. Remember, they get the fingerprint screens up and it's going and they'll say, we'll see you in a couple of days when we get a hit.
Yeah.
Now those hits are instantaneous because we are welcoming in artificial intelligence. The former FBI rejected that notion because they knew that wasn't their focus. Their focus was on weaponization, not modernization.
I mean, you have to admit, that's pretty incredible to, stop school shootings by the use of AI. I mean, Kash Patel brings up excellent points. It's impossible to sift through that many leads, calls, tips, strategies, etc., without the use of this technology, as well as, so many benefits have been found in medical industries, doctors, dentists, vets, you name it. Neuralink, our boy Elon Musk, helping people to use their limbs again through the use of artificial intelligence. So there's a lot of benefits. Don't fall for that whole, this technology is going to do. No. Just like guns, it's not the trigger itself. Who's pulling the trigger? That's who's accountable. So having that in mind, I want you to check this powerful. I'm telling you, it's the most powerful use of AI I've seen when it comes to scenarios. Again, full credit to the Babylon Bee. And make sure you come on back after you see this because I have a response to Karen Bass's outlandish remark that Spencer Pratt is using the Palisades victims and fire tragedy as some sort of way of exploitation to get more fame. It's absurd. He has the most powerful response in a video with him and his mother. I want you to check that out. Plus, mentally Ilhan Omar. The deadline
I want y'all
for her
to see
to
this
come
video.
up with
This shit funny as hell.
answers regarding.
I want y'all to see this though, because I think it's hilarious. This says the world owned by woke, and this is like an AI generated thing. But I want y'all to really pay attention. I really think that if you guys think about what the policies that they're doing, this is what it would look like.
It ends up, when you do communism right, it works perfectly and everyone loves it.
And it only took 200 million starving to get here.
That's less than half as many as we thought.
There has been another terrorist attack with 33 dead. The American government has decided not to do anything about it since we probably deserved it.
It sure is great that abortion is now free and available for everyone everywhere.
Yeah, but it's too bad that there aren't any babies to abort since we outlawed being a heterosexual.
Murdering those families was wrong, but you're an immigrant and you probably just didn't know any better. Plus, we shut down all prisons. You're free to go.
This is wrong. You need to lock him up.
How dare you question our compassion? Execute that man immediately. I found more letters we need to add to the acronym.
It's already.
How dare you question our compassion? Mama, they ran out the dude charges. He go free. And then he ran out the charge. Now they doing cashless bonds already, cashless bails. They already not locking people up. They letting them out. They mad at ICE for doing their job. So this is pretty damn funny because it's spot on. The criminal get to go free. You object, you get locked up.
Murdering those families was wrong, but you're an immigrant and you probably just didn't know any better. Plus, we shut down all prisons. You're free to go.
This is wrong. You need to lock him up.
How dare you question our compassion? Execute that man immediately. I found more letters we need to add to the acronym.
It's already so large, it's throwing off the rotation of the Earth. If we add any more letters, we'll die.
Then we die. Everyone just stay in line and walk through the scanner. It's going to check how dark your skin is to see how many benefits you get. If I were you, I wouldn't bother.
Oh shit! Everybody walk through the scanner. Let's see what benefits you gonna get. He walk up to the white albino looking dude. If I was you, I wouldn't bother. Man, this is hilarious. But you gotta laugh because this shit is true.
If we add any more letters, we'll die.
If you add any more letters, then we'll die. Then we die. This shit. Look at all the letters, man. This is hilarious. I'm sorry. I like good jokes. I'm sorry. I hope nobody's offended by this. This is not to offend anyone, but this shit is hilarious. This is almost like a Drewski skit.
Question our compassion. Execute that man immediately. I found more letters we need to add to the acronym.
It's already so large, it's throwing off the rotation of the Earth. If we add any more letters, we'll die.
Then we die. Everyone just stay in line and walk through the scanner. It's going to check how dark your skin is to see how many benefits you get. If I were you, I wouldn't bother. The U.S. has run out of money.
Can't we just murder more billionaires and confiscate their wealth?
There are no more left. I'm afraid someone in our country is actually going to have to get a job and work.
I think I've probably watched that about 100 times. I'm not even kidding you. It's just so, that's a masterpiece right there. I beg of you, implore you, share this. Tell me that's not accurate. Tell me it's hilarious. It's satire. It's a joke, obviously. But like all jokes, like all humor, it wouldn't be funny at all, especially laugh out loud funny, if there wasn't a lot of truth to it. Again, full credit to the Babylon Bee. If you don't know who the Babylon Bee is, follow them on X. Just search Babylon Bee on their on the site or anywhere. I think they're on Facebook, everywhere. Make sure you follow them. They're one of the greatest media producers on planet Earth. Okay, here is the response. What a brilliant response. If you're in California or Los Angeles, I fully endorse Spencer Pratt for mayor. I did a whole video of how his election is even more important than LA, even though LA is a huge central part of not only the entire West Coast, but the entire nation as a major metropolitan area. The World Cup is going to be there. The Olympics are going to be there. So, I mean, this is Los Angeles, folks. It doesn't get any bigger than that unless you're New York City. And so this is very, very, very important. And here was an extremely magnificently powerful response to caring communist do-nothing Bass saying the most egregious things about him and what his family has gone through. Watch this. This is powerful.
The thing I am concerned and feel about him is that I feel like he's exploiting the grief of people in the Palisades. And I think that's right. Reprehensible. He is about his own celebrity. He's famous now again.
Don't run with that. I'll be right there. I gotta go. Hi.
Oh my gosh, that's good.
How are you?
I'll throw it in the I don't need to do it. We're gonna go
Yeah, good. Good. So emotional. I can hardly breathe.
Oh, it is pretty cool. It's better than just dirt.
Oh, Spencer, this is beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Could be worse. Could be worse. How are you enjoying your new rental? Okay, well.
So emotional. I feel like all I do is cry.
You do. Well, I understand why.
I just really wish we could have sold our lot and bought a house in Santa Monica on Montana. So I really wish. Palisades is just so depressing.
It'll be a lot easier to sell a house you build on a lot than selling just a lot. So there's way more chance for it to buy a brand new, nobody's lived in house than a dirt lot. So if that's what you decide in a year, there's way more chance to sell that than dirt.
Yeah, because the Palisades isn't going to come back for a long time. And it's so depressing. I've got to pull myself together.
I don't think you're gonna go. There's no way. It's not. Nobody's supposed to be dealing with what you're dealing with at your age. At any age, but I don't think you need to have the pressure of pulling yourself together. I think you can cry all you want. Whatever gets you through the day.
I love you so much.
He is about his own celebrity.
You just gotta breathe.
All right. I don't know what I'm watching there, but I got some other stuff I wanted to show you. I can't find the one with this Nigerian lady was speaking. If I can find it, I'll get it to you. Sometimes I just throw stuff to my email throughout the day, and then I throw so many, it's hard for me to find it. But I want y'all to check this out with the Met Gala. As I'll let's
ritual. That's all the Met Gala is. And gala spelled Gayla. It's people dressing up in feminine outfits or outrageous outfits. Would you look at Sam Smith, this idiot? Everybody on social media calling him Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce.
Oh no, they calling him Travis Kelce? Oh damn, that's messed up.
Should sue for people calling him Sam Smith. What a group of idiots. Angel Reese, I gotta say, you look pretty good at the Met Gala, but there's no way, there's no amount of money they could pay me to go to the Met Gala. Justin Jefferson, Joe Burrow, shame on you. This is a humiliation ritual. That's all the Met Gala.
That's what a lot of people say about the Met Gala. I don't know. Y'all be the judge of that. I don't judge. I'll just bring you the information. I want y'all to see this too. I think some of y'all might know who this is. Y'all know who this is? He was a former mayor of PA, president of LGBT Pride org, has been arrested again. Not the first time, arrested again on additional child sex crimes. Trump is not a king. It don't cover up this right here.
Set the dog down. Okay. Thanks, sir. Turn around. Place your hands behind your back. You got anything on you?
A warrant from Pennsylvania.
So warrant for what?
It's going to be a child case.
We're going to talk to you about that.
Okay.
Pennsylvania has issued a warrant for you for some reason.
Okay.
And we're just here to serve.
Then you call the attorney?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Lambo, we're going to.
I wouldn't say anything for you. They got 3 new cases on. Okay. So.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what?
Set the dog down.
Okay.
Thanks, sir. Turn around. Place your hands behind your back.
Y'all heard what he told him outside?
You got anything on you?
Hear it again what he told him outside.
So warrant for what?
It's going to be a child case.
We're going to talk to you about that.
Okay.
Pennsylvania has issued a warrant for you for some reason.
Okay.
And we're just here to serve.
Then you call the attorney?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Lambo, we're going to.
I wouldn't say anything for you. They got 3 new cases on. Okay.
He whispered to him, he said, I didn't want to say nothing in front of your family, which I don't know why. Why does this nasty son of a deserve any respect? I don't know. But he didn't want to say nothing in front of his family. But allegedly, he has 3 new cases. Trump is not a king, won't get you out of this one. See, this is what I want people to see. Damn all that putting other people out in front to cover up their behavior. Trump is not a king, won't get you out of that one. 3 new cases. 3 new cases. And the guy that talk about Trump so much. These guys that are so nice and Trump is so this and that. Let's look at Jimmy Kimmel and his behavior.
I mean, do you think that she's attractive or not? Yeah, you think that she's attractive or not?
What sick some bitch think to do shit like this? He a grown man acting like a 2-year-old. 2-year-olds know better. Well, I don't know, terrible too. But this is Jimmy Kimmel back in the day. Let's look at Jimmy Kimmel one more time. Let's look at, this is a grown man. So all this was back in the day. He got time to change. No. Who raised a some bitch grown man like this that would do this while a woman ain't looking on camera where everybody can see? This, he ain't even trying to hide that he's sick. This other dude ain't even say nothing. Ain't say, nah, bro, you don't do shit like that, bro. You don't do this behind a woman. Come on, man, don't do that. Nobody said anything. And the crowd cheered. So I guess we are some robots. We're only going to go with what people tell us is acceptable and is not. Because apparently back then, they didn't know this wasn't acceptable. Listen to the crowd.
Listen
to the crowd, man.
You think that she's attractive or not?
Boy, the crowd, I'm talking about, woo, ah, woo. But Trump is not a king. They can talk about Trump all day, but the crowd cheered for him to do that. The crowd cheered. Trump is not a king. I love that part. Oh man, these people, that I think I hit y'all with enough today. I'm gonna find that other part. But listen, man, that's my time. Trump is not a king. Don't let them tell you about Trump all day. I hate to defend Kimmel, but everyone was a comedian in that scene. There's nothing comic about that because people look up to comedians. And if you're going to play with being a pervert, then what is to stop us from playing with all sorts of things? No. You don't play with stuff like that. Everything ain't a joke. Everything ain't a joke. And when you being a real life pervert, that's not a joke. You can mask things through jokes that are not jokes. So you got to be careful when you allow things to happen that are not jokes. So licking behind a woman's trousers when she ain't looking and humping behind her, that's nothing funny in that. I've seen kids do that in school and get expelled. What is the joke? So if you're gonna title someone a comedian to do so, then what's to stop everybody from being a comedian? I might not be on the main stage, but hell, I'm like Jimmy Kimmel. I want to be a comedian. So now I'm acting like Jimmy Kimmel so I could be a comedian. He made it. That's why you can't allow shit like this to happen. You got to come down more on Jimmy Kimmel for doing something like that so that you don't create other assholes to do stuff like that. Okay? So yeah. But y'all have a blessed day. I'm up out of this thing. It's morning for you guys. What time is it? It's like 11 o'clock. So I'll be back, but I don't know. I'm up out of this thing. I'm gone. I appreciate y'all. That's what all these kids doing now, doing anything to make it. Yeah, they doing goofy shit to make it because if you allow celebrities to do it, everybody's going to do it. Trust me. Can't do no shit like that. But y'all have a blessed day, man. I'm up out of this thing. I'm gone.